Yes, it is I, Holly Cameron, and I'm in your phones, but I'm also making an appearance for Tru Heel Heat. I've been told it's a fantastic podcast. Why haven't you had me on it, huh? Where's my invitation? I think you guys need to feel the wrath. I'm at Comic-Con today, but I think we need to get some, some wrath in the show. So let me know.
Hello, this is RJ City, and I am ethically opposed to any more wrestling podcasts. I don't know why you guys are talking about wrestling. It is a niche product. It is a very small industry. Yet, at this point, there's more wrestling podcasts than there are wrestlers. There is something wrong with society as a whole, but as you get smaller and smaller into wrestling, and then the wrestling podcast sphere, it gets even worse. And one such example, if I may turn on the microscope and look at the drudgery that happens to be Tru Heel Heat, SP3, Sid, this is your fault.
It is Saturday morning, and you know what that means. It's time for some Tru Heel Heat. We got a lot to discuss in the world of pro wrestling, including Ridge Holland getting done dirty by WWE, or did he? We'll discuss that. We'll also discuss the John Cena last time is now tournament, and who will win the tournament? Who will be part of the tournament? What are the surprises? And why are they not Adam Copeland and Chris Jericho? You silly people. We will discuss all of that. We will also discuss Hiroshi Tanahashi's final opponent as we are nearing January 4th for Wrestle Kingdom. We're going to talk some Tanahashi Final Homecoming. We're going to talk some WWE Saturday Night's main event. We're going to talk about the lack of vision, Logan Paul in the vision. We'll talk about all of that, plus much more. It's a Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Listen to intro. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for Tru Heel Heat 354, hung out to dry. discussing the latest wrestling news, including did WWE do Ridge Holland dirty by releasing him from his contract early following his social media comments? Recap of this week in wrestling featuring WWE Saturday Night's main event with CM Punk becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion, Raw on Netflix with Logan Paul joining forces with The Vision, SmackDown with Drew McIntyre getting suspended, NXT Evolve, AEW Dynamite with Blood and Guts Advantage battle beginning, Fight Night Collision last Saturday with Bandito and Dorada's Instant Classic, ROH TV, NJPW Tanahashi Final Homecoming with Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji setting up for Wrestle Kingdom 20, STARDOM Crimson Nightmare, CMLL, plus much, much more. And of course, to do it all, to talk it all with you here, I am joined by my esteemed colleagues. The trio is here with you. The trio you've grown to love. Not that guy. That guy's not supposed to be here. He's the producer. But yes, we are here. It is first up. We got the beautiful, the lovely Miss Krssi Love. How are you doing?
Hey peeps, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Happy Saturday, everybody, or if it's Sunday, if you're watching somewhere else. But hello peeps, what's happening? What's going on? WWE has proven to us yet again they have nothing. They put all their eggs in a basket and then they drop them. And then they splatter on their sunny side up now. Frying.
Well, I like my sunny side up now, so I guess.
That's one of the best ways. I'm just saying, a little rain, it's really great. So they're having their eggs shattered and they're sunny side up, and they don't know what to scramble them. Right? Actually, like they started sunny side up, and now they're scrambling because they had nothing.
Yeah, that's probably it. They're scrambling at the moment. And of course,
scrambling with a lot of things. Logan Paul, we have John Cena. It's really stupid. It's really a lot of things happening that's really dumb. But continue. I'm sorry to hold up the show.
It's like they just realized it's November. But of course, to talk it all with you, we got, of course, the third member of the team, the True Draw himself. How you doing, Josh? What's going on?
I'm doing good. A lot happened this week, and I look forward to talking about it or even ranting about it.
I'm excited. I'm holding on tight. I hope it's before I leave early today. So
we're getting into WWE to start the show, so you don't have to wait too long.
That's what.
But yes. We appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We must thank you all. Thank you so much as we hit another milestone today. We hit 25,000 subscribers here on the channel, so thank you so much for all the support. I can't believe that we've come this far, and I remember when we had 25 subscribers, so to go from 25 to 25,000, it's honestly very humbling, and we're very grateful for all the support from all of you guys.
That's what's up. That's amazing. Absolutely. Thank you guys. We appreciate you. You just watch us, you don't have to watch anybody, but you watch us. Thanks.
Of course, they watch for you, Krssi. They watch for you in the rants on Saturday. That's why they're here. That's why they're here right now. But yes, thank you so much for each and every one of you who has subscribed, and tell a friend to hit the subscribe button as well as our next milestone that we're shooting for is 30,000 subscribers now. So thank you so much for helping us hit 25K here on the channel. And of course, if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat for our 25K celebration flagship podcast. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, show your support to our celebration for 25,000 subscribers, as well as the flagship podcast, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to contributors that you see on screen with us here. It helps you get your comment highlighted on screen. It goes a long way to help the channel grow and keep going and moving. We always appreciate the support. We got Zach Minger in the chat who just says good morning, SP3, Josh, and everyone. And you didn't say good morning to Krssi, but you didn't give us a day. What day is it? Oh my God, is it not a day? This is shocking. This is shocking. I've never seen a good morning. Just a good morning. Really national I don't know, I don't give a fuck day, or I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know, but I don't know what, it's always some day, so it's crazy that Zach is just saying good morning to you, Zach. Clown saying good morning, everyone. We also got here Chuck Berries, who says good morning, THH fam. He says I have to say that the women's wrestling scene seems more intriguing than the men's wrestling scene amongst the two major promotions, in my opinion. I would say from the two top like flagship shows of the two promotions, the two major promotions we usually talk about here, I would say the women had the best match on both shows. Best match on Raw was Kabuki Warriors, Bayley and Lyra. Yes. Best match on Dynamite was Babes of Wrath versus Mercedes and Athena.
Sounds about right. I mean, the women can step up to do what needs to be done. Too bad they always give them, the shit end of the stick and wait. Hey ladies, we really need you guys. Oh, should we even say that they could have went out there and did a shitty ass match, but they're saving their prospective shows. So hey, look at that.
Always can count on the women. We got Eric Isaac, who says good morning, THH crew. All hail 2 belts Chelts. Yes. And welcome to the big leagues at last, Lash Legend. We're going to talk about Friday Night SmackDown for sure. I would love to be very happy for Chelsea Green, but I'm just depressed being a Julia fan.
Oh,
I got a bone to pick with Eric. By the way, I have a bone to pick with him. To say that promo on Tuesday from Kalani Jordy was perfect, man. You really setting the bar very low. Like a lot of you fans are setting the bar so low if you think that was perfect or great. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
but he's not the only one. There was a whole bunch of WWE fans. I even had
believe me, I know.
Tru Heel Heat's Twitter on WWE's account for the promo because so many people was like, "Oh my God, this is so great! Drop the mic." And I'm like, "Did y'all listen to the same thing that I did?"
Nope, they didn't.
I think they focused on what was said and not like the actual delivery because the delivery was terrible.
Yeah, the promo, the script, the context, it was the dialogue was fine. It was fine. It was a good explanation, but she performed it horribly. That was the worst delivery I've seen. I've heard call center employees with more enthusiasm and more energy than she gave in that promo. We got Negro Buck with a new name, the real Negro Nikki Boy 15.
Somebody probably tried to take your name, son.
Probably.
Yeah, how the attack is off.
Glad to see you in the chat today, and he's also been a member of the channel for 28 months. Thank you so much, Nikki Boy. Buck. We always appreciate you in the chat. He says, LOL, WWE is becoming the new LOL TNA for me. I mean,
yeah. It's being hard. It's kind of hard to watch at this point of the game. Thank God for like some of the matches that we did see this week.
Yeah,
hey.
Because if it wasn't for the performers, I would be pissed off with the top 2 major promotions.
Yep.
Because the bookers did not do a good job this week, in my opinion. Neither one of them.
Not a one.
One doesn't care about giving us great matches and only cares about the stories that are very slowly paced and 9 times out of 10 wind up horribly. That's what he's worried about creating. I think you would just be better off just giving us great matches. And then the other doesn't care about the stories, doesn't even care about the great matches. He just wants to give us more belts.
Yeah. A friend of mine texted me, he said, why do we need yet another belt? I was like, you're absolutely right. You have the mid card ones, you have the tag ones for both ladies and men, and they both have mid card titles. We don't need any. What is this like the cruiserweight title now? Like, what are we doing?
And literally, like, you got all this credit for freaking combining the international and continental championships to create the unified title, just to make a new title, just to make it a half-ass. You just dropped Inter from the international title, so now it's only national. You can only go to North America with this title.
Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Here we are.
Thank you, Nikki Boy, in the chat. We also got Dion Jenkins with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says Cody has exhausted pretty much all credible challengers besides Jacob and Randy. Like, even Drew has no credibility anymore. He's in the Kane role. Oh man, that's horrible. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Dion, because yeah, Drew has no credibility. When he came out during last night's show, I was just like, really? We're continuing this? I knew they were going to continue it,
but they have nothing else to do.
It still pissed me off.
They don't have.
Triple H's solution of giving us new rivalries, giving us new stories, is combining two stories that have gone on way longer than it needed to, and just putting them together. Aleister Black and Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes.
Who, by the way, they let still Aleister Black and his wife now are like the new Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Or is that what we're doing now these days?
They're the Black family.
Black family, yeah.
They're the Black family.
Mm-hmm.
They wear black.
They wear black.
They wear black because they're the Black family. I mean, yeah, you could probably say like, yeah, it's kind of very Karrion Kross and Scarlett coded their entrance. I do agree.
I mean, like, you got rid of a perfectly good, couple. I mean, you weren't doing anything with them, granted.
Exactly.
So you say, hey, let's go to the next best thing. Okay.
So just pair Zelina with her husband.
Yep. Another couple.
Not like Selena's doing anything else. She was just wrestling, which none of us wanted to see that much. So yeah.
I sure as didn't want to see that.
Negro Buck says I was definitely one of those first 25 subscribers. LOL. Thank you. You've been with us since the start. We appreciate you, sir. We got Dion. He says, congrats on 25K, guys. We got Clown. He says, congratulations on the milestone. We appreciate you as well. King Greg saying, good morning. Congrats on 25K. Negro Buck saying, these Fed fans are way too easily impressed. Yeah, they tend to be. They tend to be very easily impressed with anything that WWE gives them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like, we got a cookie. It's like, ooh, cookie. Ooh. Greg Carter saying Tony Khan thinks we're distracted by shiny objects like a baby. No, Tony Khan is distracted by shiny objects like a baby. That's why he keeps getting more titles. I need more shiny objects.
That's more TK than like trying to give a distraction. WWE would try to give a distraction, not Tony Khan. He's just distracting himself. Because I'm like, exactly. You don't need to add another title. Like, no, you don't. You just combine two of them and then you just add another one. I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't need another title. I definitely, like, if you want to push guys, just push them to certain things. You don't gotta push a guy based off let's make him a champion. You don't got to do that. You got enough belts to do that.
And the fact that it's coming during a tournament for another new title, and it's also what it looks like from like an overarching standpoint, because me and Jimmy went through different like scenarios? Basically 3 conspiracy theories on why he did this, and the best one that I had was, you're doing this, you're announcing this during the women's tag team title tournament to basically take attention away from the women's tag team title tournament Combined with that, you also just added the women's tag team titles, which meant that the women had 3 titles to the men's 5. And Tony couldn't stand for that. He was like, I need to have twice as many titles for the men than I do for the women, so I need to add another title. It became like he had allergies. He was like scratching. He was like, oh my God, I only got 2 less. I only got 2 more men's titles than women's titles. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to feature women way too much. No. I need a new men's title. Come up with a new men's name. What did we have before? International title, national title. There we go. I'll announce it. And it just came out of nowhere. It came so random. That's what makes me feel like it's just one of those. Oh my God. 5 men's title. I need another men's title. So stupid.
Yeah, a certain company got triggered by it, so that was pretty funny.
And we'll talk about that on the show today. Dion saying WWE pacing is glacial. They've been teasing Cody and Randy for a year and a half. Yo. They already missed the peak on Cody and Randy. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was one of the money feuds for Cody when he first became world champion last year. And they literally just did a King of the Ring final, and that's it. Like it, you know, when they eventually get to it, they're gonna get to it, but it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be way past the point of expiration. But
here we are.
We shall see. We got Robert in the chat. Roberto, excuse me. He says, hey guys, I just logged in. When could John Cena versus Hiroshi Tanahashi potentially happen? January 5th at the Wrestle Dynasty Dominion on June 2026. That is not what the headline says, Roberto. It says, who will be John Cena and Hiroshi Tanahashi final opponents. It doesn't say who's going to be John Cena versus Hiroshi Tanahashi final opponent. There's no way John Cena is facing Hiroshi Tanahashi. I would give up on that. I'm going to help you out.
Yeah.
I would just suggest you just give up on that.
Yeah, maybe like on Earth 3085, but definitely not on this Earth. I don't know.
WWE 2K. I heard they got some good Hiroshi Tanahashi models. So there you go. Thanks, Roberto, for the comment, and thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you. Dion says WWE buries their own talent, then gets shocked Pikachu face when fans give up on the person. For example, Dolph Ziggler. Yes. And there's a lot of guys on the roster who feel like they're on that cusp. They're on that cusp of crossing the line into Dolph Ziggler. I'm gonna make it a specific time. Dolph Ziggler post 2017, because they were still using Dolph Ziggler in a meaningful way into like 2017, 2018. So I'll say Dolph Ziggler post 2018. Dolph Ziggler post 2018. That's when they had all the juice out of Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler was just another guy, and no one believed him. Remember, 2019 is when we get the Cody and Dolph Ziggler rivalry over the WWE Championship, when it should have been me promo. That's when you knew Dolph was done. Like, oh man, this is when you knew Kofi's title reign. They were over it when they gave him Dolph Ziggler as a rival.
They gave that as a rival. They gave Dean Ambrose as a rival, I believe, too. Yeah.
Kofi feuded with Kevin Owens. I'm gonna say Kevin Owens. Who was after Kevin Owens? I think after Kevin Owens was Dolph Ziggler. Then it was Randy. Then it was Samoa Joe, and then he lost to Brock.
In 8 seconds. Oof.
Yes. That was his reign. He had four rivals. The best rivalry was Randy, and they never had a good match together. We got Rich in the chat. He says, good morning, everyone. Congrats on 25K Tru Heel Heat. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate all the love in the chat with us. Greg Carter naming some of the people that I was thinking of as well, saying Penta Ziggler, LA Ziggler, Phoenix Ziggler.
I think got there pretty fast. Penta got there pretty fast.
Nah, I think the only one who's close to Dolph Ziggler territory is LA. LA Knight feels very much Dolph Ziggler coded at this point.
Yeah, because he ain't never winning that big title.
No. I think he'd be lucky if he gets like a random 2 to 3 month World Heavyweight Championship run in like a year from now when he's not as over as he is right now.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, LA Knight to me was the guy that, you know, like that term, the wrong guy got over. That's LA Knight. The wrong guy got over. You know, the crowd kind of got behind him, and they chose who they wanted to. They wanted to be behind. LA Knight was that guy, and the company was just like, he's not our guy, but let's make some merch. Let's make some money off of him at least. You know, let's pretend that we're gonna give him a big push, but he's gonna lose anyway. But then we'll try to make him look good, so then it's not too obvious. But then it's obvious. You know what I mean? Like that's what they basically do with LA Knight.
Let's give him the bare minimum. Let's just give him the bare minimum, guys. All right. But one more question for the chat before we get into things. We got Shatora, who says, can you guys tell me what's the best wrestling period to watch? Is WCW Nitro good to watch? I think the best period to watch is the Attitude Era. So yeah, if you want to watch like 1996, from the summer of 1996 of WCW Nitro until like the end of 1998, it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining to watch. And if you're going to watch Nitro, you might as well watch Raw from that time period at the same time, because that's what we were doing on True Rewind. And it gives you kind of the balance, and you see the differences between those two times. And I think that was the most exciting time ever in pro wrestling, was the Attitude Era. So if you want to go back to that time, that's a good time to watch. New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you like the in-ring athletics and in-ring storytelling, and long overarching stories over a couple of years, New Japan Pro Wrestling is a good stuff to watch. NJPW World, you can get on there for that. So yeah, that would be my suggestion for the best wrestling to watch. And our producer letting us know WWE Vault has a lot of good old school stuff on there, and they have a WCW Vault as well on YouTube. But let's get into what we missed. But before we do that, of course, we start off every flagship podcast with our Tru Heel roll call, shouting out those supporting us across social media and right here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, as well as our Patreon. Our top 3 conversation starters, you got Jermaine Packman, you got Joe Bellini, you got Stewie John Palmer. Our Patreon backers, you got Vala B, you got Negro Buck, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John Martin, Dolores, James, Alan, Santo, Justin Ridge, and Chuck Berries. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content and the best way to support us when we are not live here. But without further ado, let's get into what we missed. And we're going to start off with last Saturday, as we had WWE Saturday Night's main event. The show featured CM Punk defeating Jey Uso in the main event to win the World Heavyweight Championship. This was a main event that seems like it's having polarizing opinions amongst the fans and critics. Some people thought it was very good. Some people thought this was horrible and one of the worst main events in recent memory. So I guess we shall just say here, to each his own. However you felt about it, that is how you felt about it. But in the end, CM Punk defeats Jey Uso. He is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Meanwhile, you had another new champion crowned on the show as Jade Cargill destroyed Tiffany Stratton in a one-sided affair to win the WWE Women's Championship. Then you had Dominic Mysterio. He retained the WWE Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match over Penta and Rusev after pulling out another dirty trick from his bag of tricks, ringing the bell as Rusev had on the accolade to retain the IC title. And you also had the announcement from John Cena of the Last Time Is Now Open Challenge that will determine his final opponent on December 13th. And finally, in the opener, you had Cody Rhodes beat Drew McIntyre in a very good matchup to retain the undisputed WWE Championship after Cody once again used the WWE Championship belt against Drew, DDTing him on the gold before delivering the Crossroads to get the win and retain the title. This was notable, of course, for some very noticeable boos towards Cody when he used the title against Drew. But we'll talk a little bit about Saturday night's main event combined with this past Monday's Raw. But very quickly, Miss Krssi Love, what was your overall thoughts on Saturday night's main event? Me and Josh were on the review, but let's hear from you. What did you think about the show?
I did not watch the show live. I had asked, SP, I saw him the next following day. I was like, should I watch? And he was like, no, not really. I mean, I knew what happened. So, I mean, I watched the women's match to see, what it was about. And they was like, Jay, just go in there and just be Brock Lesnar and just kill Stephanie. That's what happened in a nutshell. Them booing Cody should just make them just what we said last week and weeks before, that we had the wrong person go heel. Because now look where we are. Now they don't even want to cheer him because I guess they've been so. I guess we went through this with Roman. It's being thrown down our throats now. So here we are.
This is what happened with Roman. This is what happened. No, this is more of John Cena. This is it. Or
yeah.
You want to know the best comparison, Krssi?
Which one?
This is Cody in AEW.
And he wasn't even a world champ.
Wasn't even world champion there, but he did wear out his welcome. So it seems like Cody's version of the white meat babyface has a 3-year expiration date. In year 3, that's when it's starting to wear thin. 2019, Cody in AEW, the hottest babyface in the world, the best babyface in pro wrestling that year. 2020, still a very popular babyface. The TNT title run, the feud with Brody Lee, giving the title up to Darby Allin, still was going good. 2021, year 3, was when he started to have some issues. Luckily for him, he had some help in this run because he only had like a 3-month run when he comes back to WWE. Then he's out for 6 months. Then he comes back. Year 1 is 2023. Year 2 is 2024. Year 3 is right now, 2025. And that's when it's starting to wear thin. His pop is not as loud as it once was. He's getting boos when he's deciding to cheat in matches. And I talked about it with Josh during the review, and it was like, dude, if they turn around, because they are sowing seeds that Cody may be turning heel. Him using the title against Drew on SmackDown a few weeks ago, him using the title in this matchup. He's been very coy. They may go in the direction of him being the attacker of Jacob Fatu. If they go in this direction, this is public admittance by Triple H that The Rock was right. That The Rock was right. Cody should have turned heel. Cena should have stayed babyface. And you had Cody at the peak. That's the key. I talked about it with JJ on Raw, on the Rated Raw review. You had Cody at the peak. Remember what's the peak? The peak is WrestleMania 40. But you can ride out a peak. A peak can ride out. It doesn't have to stop there. You can just stay at that peak for a little while. And they were able to ride that out until when? The Kevin Owens feud. The Kevin Owens feud caught fire. He closed that out at the Royal Rumble. The next month, he should have turned heel. If WWE were aware that they were running out of the peak, that the peak was about to end, then they know that's the move they had to make. But you know who didn't know? Dwayne. Dwayne knew. Josh? Any comments on Saturday night's main event or The Rock being right?
Hey, it's not like I shied away from it. I was like, yeah, maybe he's right. Because, and like I said, if they end up turning Cody heel, it'll make The Rock look like a genius. And I'm all for it because I'm sick of this shit with Triple H because
he's not going to allow that ego of his will not allow it.
He's not going to allow it, and that's why. I think low key. I think it won't happen because of that. Based off of that, because if they turn Cody heel, that's admitting, oh, maybe Dwayne was right. Maybe we should have turned Cody heel when we had the chance. But. Obviously, I felt like maybe The Rock knew something. He saw something that was writing on the wall, and he was like, maybe you should go with Cody being heel, because at least with Cody, you have him on TV, and you know what you're getting with Cody. With Cena, you have like these dates that it was like, would it have made sense that you, again, they could have done so much right with the Cena heel turn that, to me, I don't think it's so much of a wrong. It's just the aftermath was just a complete disaster, because what we thought was going to happen didn't happen. Like we thought, The Rock and Cena will be a duo. I thought that would have been way more interesting, have a Hollywood duo. We didn't get none of that. We got Cena the same exact way, the same exact music, the same exact look, coming out, cutting the same promos, and they turn him back face. Right before
the peacemaker side of things, it probably would have worked better.
Like if you would lean into it, maybe more. Honestly,
the show was out. You could have leaned into that character. I'm sorry to cut you off, Josh, but yeah.
No, I'm saying they could have leaned into something like that. You're not gonna get people because of who's running it, but at least like something similar where where Peacemaker acts like he's doing good, but then he's a dick. So it's like you're not a good guy. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have done that with Cena. You could have done that with Cena. There's a lot that you could have done that. To me, it's not so much
on a plate for them, on a platter.
Yeah, to me, it's not.
Look me there. And no, we rather have the noodles.
But saying for me, it wasn't like so much like a wrong thing. It was just the follow up just makes it look bad. So now because of the follow up, since we had the follow up, it just looks worse. Yeah. And I mean, because honestly, and like I said last week, and I still stand by this, even if you turn Cody heel, I have no confidence that Triple H would do anything significant.
That's the part. That's the part right there. There you go. That is absolutely a whole fact, because you will drop the ball just like you did with John. Like you guys have no clue of what or how to do this.
No, I think it's very much sabotage. Like that's the whole Cena heel turn. Cena heel turn and the retirement tour. It's felt like Triple H has purposely sabotaged John Cena. Like that's like we talked about it before with the whole 4-year thing. Oh, Triple H had to wait 4 years to win a WWE championship. That means Braun Breaker has to wait 4 years on the main roster. It's very much his ego. His ego has sprouted out. It's something that I've known about Triple H for many years, and has basically described my feelings towards him as a wrestling fan is that it's always been about his ego. It's never been about anything else. It's about how it makes Triple H look, and that has come out and shown itself more often than not in 2025. So I do agree with Josh. I do agree with Josh that even if Cody turns heel, and it is great and people love it, and it was the right time to do it, I feel like Triple H would purposely book it badly because it's not his idea.
Yeah, and then in regards to Triple H overall, I mean, he kind of reminds me of like a NFL head coach where you get a brand new head coach. The team starts off hot, everybody loves it, and then now when the team starts struggling for like the next 2 years, everyone's like, "What the fuck is this? I want this guy out of here. What is he doing? He wasn't doing what he was doing when he first started."
God, blame the coach. Yes.
I'm saying like he don't know what he's doing, what kind of play calling he's making. This is what this kind of reminds me of, because 2025 not only has been like his worst decision year, but it's kind of like, wow, like this is like the most Vince McMahon I've seen you book. This is like you went back to like what your dad-in-law went to, and it's like it's so bad. It's bad, and I think it's worse.
It's baffling because your way worked.
No, and that's what kind of is like kind of crazy to me, where it's like the reason why it's kind of like bigger with WWE now because of like where WWE is at its current place, where people talk about the money that it's making, but then it's like, oh, we're getting the same stuff every week now, and I'm like, yeah, like, you know, if people were watching before then, I'm like, this is very Vince McMahon booking. This is a very Vince McMahon booking year for Triple H.
Yeah. And it all started the first time. We were talking about this in January. The first sign was the Netflix premiere. That Netflix premiere was so Vince McMahon coded in the ways that he booked it. It was about nostalgia. It was about, aren't we so great? Aren't we the greatest thing since sliced bread? All that shit that I hate about WWE. I hate all that shit about WWE. Don't tell me how great you are. Show me how great you are. And WWE tends to tell me way more than they show me, especially this year.
Yeah, and I remember people were defending that bullshit. Like, oh, we got Undertaker. You're not getting Undertaker every week. Who gives a fuck? I don't want to see Undertaker.
Remember the guy who argued with me that was like the biggest moment in Rhea Ripley's career? That she always
that was the biggest moment.
That meant the world to her.
Like that was the biggest moment. I mean, hey, it was a personal thing.
When the Undertaker take her spotlight on the Netflix premiere.
Oh, that was horrible.
Here we are all these months later.
Biggest moment of career. What? Throwing a fist bump with Undertaker? That's your big. I mean, come on. Like, she's done way better. Way more than that. I mean, that's a cool individual moment for her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she loved it. But to say like that's her biggest of her career, get the fuck out of here with that.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to Bloody Money in the chat. Let us know that at Pro Wrestling Noah, Hink and Tank of WWE NXT won the GAC Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And former NXT star Yoshiki Inamura won the GAC Heavyweight Championship against Kenta. Noah's Junior Grand Prix started as well. Thank you for the info, Bloody Money. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to watch that show because I would love to see that. My boys Hank and Tank, the Belly Boys, getting the victory over in Japan, which they should be a hit. Japan loves those big boys. Those big.
I mean, hopefully they don't drop it after 2 weeks like they did. Omos and all that stuff happened.
Well, MCAT's in the chat. It says if Cody turns heel, hypocrisy on his part. AEW Sickles wanted that heel turn when his contract was up, and he decided to go to WWE instead of facing Hangman for the world title. Like, that Cody heel turn in AEW would have been generational. Cody goes back on his word and beats Hangman for the AEW World Championship. I want to go to that what if universe that Cody is the one that beats Hangman at Double or Nothing and not Punk.
That would have been great.
I want to go to that universe.
That would have been great because also in AEW there's certain things you get away with,
right?
And we all know how Cody is when he turns heel. He gets away with so much. I just don't feel confident in WWE that he's going to be able to do that because
he's not.
When Cody was heel, it wasn't only what he was saying on the mic, but it was what he was doing. Meaning, he would you go out in the crowd, he will spit at fans. That was gold. I mean, when he took that water bottle and spit at that fan, that was funny. And then he spit beer at Queen of the Ring. I remember that.
Yep. He almost fought me in Long Beach, California. Good time. Japanese women's wrestling movement says, hello, I really want Julia to return to Marigold. Rossi booking fits her so much better. Honestly, it's way better than how WWE has been using her. Her current booking in WWE has been the worst. You are preaching to the choir.
I'm about to say, the whole point of you guys seeing what Julia did and you guys, signing her was for a reason. You never showed us that. You never got. I'm sad for people to say. I'm sad to say that people never got to see that side of Julia over here. Yeah. Like she's had some of her worst matches over here.
I wouldn't even say it's worst matches. It's matches that are just forgettable. They're not horrible. She's not performing horribly. They're just soulless. They don't mean anything.
Yeah, you
Like
know,
she's not even. It's not
well, I
like
also
she's
think it's a
fun.
mix. Yeah, and I think it's a mixture of things. I think her booking is a big part of it, but also there's no connection with the fans. Like she has no connection with the crowd at all. You know, and like I said last week, where when it comes to Julia, Stephanie Valkyrie is what they thought Julia was gonna be. And we just haven't gotten that from Julia, because remember, they made her signing a big deal. Every time the rumors came out, oh, she's coming. Oh, she's going to do this first, but then she's going to come to WWE. So they kind of did make it a big deal in the regards of like media, like outside of behind the scenes stuff. They made it a big deal. But then once we got it, it was like, oh, we got Julia. But then it's kind of like, then NXT happens. She loses on the freaking CW premiere. And she's never really truly recovered. Yeah, she got the title, but then it didn't mean anything. People don't talk about it. So that should tell you something.
2 months later, she dropped it to Stephanie because Stephanie was way more over than her at that point. You wanna know what Julia would say is the worst match of her career?
What?
Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Valkyrie from Forbidden Door 2024, because that changed her whole career. Because Julia first got looked at by WWE in April of 2024. Remember, she was in the front row as Stand and Deliver during WrestleMania 40 weekend.
Yes, she was.
Philadelphia. She was pretty much signed from that point, but she agreed with Rossi that she spent like 6 months helping him start Marigold. So she's about to get signed. She goes away to Japan and she's away for 6 months. In the middle of that 6 months, 2 months later, Stephanie Valkyrie puts on that great matchup with Mercedes Moné that grabs WWE's attention to the point that WWE goes out of their way to bend over backwards and screw over CMLL by taking Stephanie Valkyrie away from her when she still has to drop the CMLL Women's World Championship. And Stephanie debuted in July, 2 months before Julia officially debuted in NXT. That one matchup is the worst thing that happened to her WWE run. Is that Stephanie Valkyrie and Mercedes Moné match at Forbidden Door last year?
I mean, it sucks, and it's just, just because, I don't know. Like, I had a feeling that this might happen. It was like 50-50 where I was like, oh, her in-ring stuff might, it might do something for the fans, or it's kind of going to break her where people like characters and, people want to connect with the person. And, unfortunately the second part happened, I knew she was doomed on SmackDown when she did like one of her moves and nobody like reacted. I was like, oh boy, this is not good.
Dude, we're gonna get into SmackDown shortly here, but man, that matchup, I could tell from a mile away what the fuck was about to happen. I just couldn't type it fast enough. I couldn't type it fast enough. The way the match started, I was like, oh fuck, she's dominating. Oh fuck, Kelsey's gonna win. Oh fuck. I even said, oh fuck, this is not gonna last long. I couldn't type. As I'm having these realizations, I'm like, I should type this out so I can feel like Negro Dominus, but I couldn't type it out fast enough. By the time I picked up my phone, she had already covered it.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
We got a super chat donation here from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, is it too early to say that Julia has been a bust on the main roster, considering the comparison to Roxanne Perez and her run on Raw? I mean, if you compare it to any of these NXT call-ups, like Roxanne, Stephanie Valkyrie, she's obviously last.
Yeah, and
those are the three that got called up after WrestleMania. And she is the third one, despite Roxanne not even really winning a title. She was given a title, but she didn't really win a title.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I would consider it a bust just because of what Julia was supposed to be. There's certain people when they come in, there's certain expectations that they get. And Julia did have high expectations. So when you have those kind of expectations and you kind of, use her the way that you've been using her, to me, that's a bust. And I even wrote that in my IG story. I was like, this is one of the biggest busts we've had in recent memory. And, you know, like I stand by that. Obviously, things could turn around, but the way that they've been using her, I just really don't have any confidence that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about any of this, but I put out the tweet yesterday. I was like, the holy trinity of fumbled international signings by Triple H. We had Mystico back in 2011. A lot of people were. I had somebody who questioned me and was like, "Wasn't Sin Cara under Vince McMahon booking?" I was like, "Yes, he was under his booking, but Triple H was the one who signed it. That was when that was Triple H's big first signing as head of talent relations back in 2011.
Shit.
And
they made that a big deal. Bust. They had a media.
They had the whole big deal. They gave him the big vignette, the big debut, and then he was a fucking bust from day one. And then number 2 was Saray, who right now is one of the top 5 greatest, the top 5 best women's wrestlers in the world. She's a top draw in Japan. She has her own company in Japan because of how popular and how big she's gotten since she left WWE. And when she was in WWE, they gave her a Sailor Moon character.
I was about to say that. I was like, wasn't that the one that they gave kind of like an anime-ish kind of character? Like,
yep, they gave her the Rock, and it made her from there to there. Yeah, so yeah. Triple H. There you have it. Keep sending those super chat donations. Appreciate the support. But let's talk about Monday Night Raw this week. Monday Night Raw, the show show last week did a record low for them, 2.3 million viewers. This week's show featured CM Punk kicking off the program to celebrate his title win. He thanked his wife AJ Lee and the fans, talked some shit to Seth Rollins, teased potential matches with AJ Styles, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Sheamus, and John Cena. Man, I would love to see a lot of those matches.
Continue. This is where we go. This is where it go down here. Oh, it was already okay.
Humble, humble, so humble. I'm so humble. I'm so humble. So humble. I'm so humble. Logan Paul.
Terrible ass song. That song is ass. Ass at its finest.
He came out as the first challenger instead, only for the Vision to interrupt to state that they were first in line for a shot. This led to Braun Breaker pushing down Logan Paul before the Braun Stars jumped CM Punk in the ring until uncharacteristically, inconspicuously, Logan Paul decides to help CM Punk and make the save. But the Vision whooped his ass. They beat him down. He got the tsunami. Punk made the save with a steel chair. This all led to Jey Uso, who did not come out during this entire opening segment, said that he thought about coming out earlier. That doesn't make any sense. But he will team with him in the main event. So it's Jey Uso, CM Punk versus the Vision in the main event. That match went to a double countout because why do we need actual finishes in our main events of our TV shows? The post-match brawl had the Vision taking out Jay with the tsunami until Punk grabbed the steel chair once again and stood off with the Vision until Logan Paul came back out and feigned helping, only to knock out the World Heavyweight Champion with a brass knuckles assisted KO punch. Paul then stared down with Paul Heyman and the Vision before handing Heyman the brass knuckles, apparently showing his allegiance to the Vision, and I'm assuming for WarGames. All of this.
What a pile of dog shit is that? Dog shit.
Meanwhile, if you want a good promo segment, Dominic Mysterio is here to brag about being the greatest Intercontinental Champion and luchador of all time, but he was interrupted by his returning father, Rey Mysterio. This led to a highly entertaining promo exchange between father and son that featured Dom making a hilarious reference to his real dad, Eddie Guerrero. After Rey let him know that he will never be the greatest luchador as long as he's around, Dom tried to attack his own father, only for Rey to get the better of him. He hit the 619 and stood tall in the ring, seemingly setting up a future matchup between the two for the Intercontinental Championship or AAA Mega Campeon. Then you also had with the Judgment Day, meanwhile, you had Finn Balor and JD McDonough. They lost to AJ Styles and Dragon Lee in a good matchup to retain the World Tag Team Championships, thanks to Sheamus counteracting interference from Dirty Dom here on the show. Then the other members of the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, beat Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer. This win led to Rodriguez being granted a WWE Women's World Championship matchup for next week on Monday Night Raw against Vaquer. Penta picked up a win over El Grande Americano in a rock-solid bout. And in my favorite part of the show, Becky Lynch, the GOAT, Rebecca Quinn, came out and cut an excellent promo, talking about her hot husband, Seth Rollins, the Vision, the crooked referee, Jessica Carr, Maxine Dupree, how New Mexico is only known for a show about how much meth they do. She was that good.
Oh,
Lynch
my God.
Lynch then had a brief stare down with the Kabuki Warriors, teasing a possible maybe WarGames team. This led to Asuka and Kairi Sane beating Bayley and Lyra Valkyria in a damn good matchup. Back-to-back weeks from the women's tag team division, really stealing the show on Monday Night Raw. Post-match, the Kabuki Warriors looked to attack Lyra until Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss ran down to make the save. Flair and Bliss will defend their tag team titles against the Kabuki Warriors on Monday's episode of Raw. Krssi Love, what did you think about Monday Night Raw this week?
Monday Night Raw was saved by Dominic Mysterio and Becky Lynch. I mean, we had a couple of okay matches, but other than that, those two saved this show.
Some good matches on the show.
There was some good matches. That's what I'm saying. The middle portion was
like the most un-WWE show ever, where the bookends of the show sucked. And the middle of the show was really good.
Like so the appetizer and the main course was trash, but the dessert and everything, but the stuff in the middle was spot on. Thank God for, again, this is what we said earlier in the show where WWE had nothing. Seth getting injured, they had nothing.
Yeah.
But you have Punk come out there and give like this promo, and then he give us these like little nuggets of like people that will look great that we've never seen him go against, and then you guys say nope, we don't want to do none of those things because we're going to just bring Logan Paul. Why do you guys feel that you need to call this man to come help save something that when you have guys that are there that can give Punk a good feud? Let these guys shine. Like you don't want to put Sheamus in the spotlight. You just call him for all mid card stuff, right? Let's have a banger with all the mid card people. Finn Balor, who's like being outshined by almost JD at this point. But hey, what are we doing? Your teacher is now.
He kind of is. He kind of is.
And you know how much I love Finn. I will take up for Finn Balor any day. But I can't lie when things are being like shown in my face where your partner is being better. You're the teacher and your student is better than. Now, I mean, I guess that's goals because he's doing something right. You know, he went to your school. You've kind of like big brother him, and now he's the little big brother now. If that makes sense. So it's like now we have JD looking better than someone that was a world champion, and you guys don't even want to give like him any type of shine where it will give you another good feud or match. He gave you a whole CM Punk being John Cena's last person. That would be great. No, why don't we have? Why can't we have that? No, they want to have a fucking my time is now tournament bullshit. But we're gonna put balls in people's hands. We'll get into SmackDown, or Truth, whatever. I mean, like what are we doing? Chicken shit. It's just pure chicken shit, and it's just. But this just also shows when I came to you and say, "Hey guys, I want to go do a retirement, last run tour." Okay, great. We would love to do that, and we're gonna you sabotage that shit on purpose because you and your ego is just what it is.
I didn't get a retirement tour.
You don't need no. You run the fucking company, bro. You get more money than everybody that's here.
You're the face of the company.
Why are you so petty? You're on the damn poster for this year's WrestleMania, and you're not even having a match. Vince McMahon never. Not never.
I hate to give Vince credit, but that is so
right.
True. That's never had himself on the outside of the Battle of the Billionaires, the battle when he was actually part of a storyline.
When he was a part, but that was a whole story that was promoting, you're not even in not one story, but yet you're on. Like he had a whole match with our president. That's right now.
In the videos,
all words. Like that is him. Like you got. Like why do we have him and Brock Lesnar in that whole thing? I don't even, for the God of me, I don't even know why.
Hey, Brock Lesnar is at least a wrestler.
Yes, but
to be fair to him, I personally could do without Brock Lesnar in 2025. But
same.
Here we are. Josh, any thoughts on Raw this week?
I mean,
of course, the Logan Paul and joining forces with the Vision.
I mean, I don't know that opening segment. Punk was cutting the promo. I expected that. I expected some kiss ass babyface promo from Punk, and then Logan came out. I was just like, oh boy, like I threw up my mouth a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then but I saw that charade where he helped Punk. I saw that shit a mile away, because that's who Logan Paul is, and even in real life, he's a shady individual. Thinks he's a nice guy and he's a piece of shit. So he did no different. Like this is not his gimmick. This is his lifestyle. So I already knew what he was gonna do. And then he does what he does at the end of the show, which is just it looked goofy. And I guess they wanted him for WarGames. I'm like, all right, cool. Like that's a choice. That's a choice, I guess. Though again, with Logan Paul, do I think he's talented? Yes. I think for somebody who's not a wrestler, quote unquote, he's very talented. Do I want to see him? No, I don't. Like that's the difference. I don't want to see him because I don't give a shit about his talent. Yeah. But that's just me how I feel personally. But it's just I don't know. It's like all these things that Punk was saying, all these names, like Krssi did was right. Where Punk said all these names. Remind you, he's not going to wrestle half of those names. So he said all that shit. I'm like, bro, you could come on. You know damn well you ain't gonna work with none of those guys.
He'd be lucky if he wrestled with two of them during this run.
That's what.
Yeah, believe me. Like we all like he was just saying that again to kiss ass. I get it, but it's like you know damn well you ain't gonna work with them. But besides that, the Dominic and Ray stuff I thought was great, especially Dom's line where he's like, "Don't talk about my father," and he was referencing Eddie Guerrero. I thought that was great. I thought that was great. Becky's promo was also great too. So the promos I think carried the show in my opinion.
Yep.
The tag match was actually good. The women's tag match was actually really good. I'll give the women's credit for that.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, it was just it was like nothing to really write home about Raw. I know commentary said it was a sold out show. Wasn't sold out.
First of all, were they in a gymnasium? I was like, well, I've never seen WWE do a little baby crowd like that ever in my life. That was with AEW.
That was the first thing that JJ said, and like, yeah, it was very much. I think it was like 7,000 in attendance for the show.
Like less, yeah, it was less than 7,000. Less than 7,000. I think the arena itself, when I saw the chart, the capacity is like 11K. So for them to say that it was sold out, I was like, come on, guys, you ain't sold out. Like, don't try to play yourselves.
It's like, why you lying to me, man? I have eyes. I can see.
Yeah,
I can see you.
And believe me, I don't want to be that guy to make like a crowd thing like a big deal, like numbers and shit like that. I don't want to make it a big deal, but when you just flat out just lie about,
yeah, and WWE,
then I have to make it a big deal. You didn't have to say that you're sold out. You could just say that you're in the crowd, like whatever. Like you didn't have to say that.
They meant the tickets they had on available were sold out, so they were sold out, guys. Just letting you know. They were sold out. Trust me. You don't know how the logistics of this all works. That's what WWE's gonna say. You don't know how this all works. It's okay. Let me explain it to you. But
he's like, well, hey, what about that top part that was ramped up? Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't.
Don't worry. No, these are not the drones you want to see. Come on.
Nope.
It's not the drones you want to see. We got here, yes, MCAT saying moment merchants, WWE. It's aura farming moment merching. We talked about that when we talked about the WrestleMania 20 campaign and everything that they did there. We also got Pedro who says, wow, this new era stinks. Seems like they don't have a lot of people that are enjoying this too much. Bar Driver Finisher says THH SP3 soundtrack. Yes, that's my humble. Did y'all like my variation, my version of Logan Paul's theme song?
Yeah, it's really. First of all, the song he has is ass anyway, so like no one really even gives a like. So when I heard the music, I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Turn this. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna just have this on mute and just have it just sitting there. I'll watch the rest of Task." Since Task was on the show I just finished, so yeah. Which is, by the way, very good SP if you want another show to watch.
I think I've seen the commercials for that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got Greg Carter saying no selling of the tsunami whatsoever by Logan Paul. Yeah, he was perfectly fine by the end of the show. Usually they sell the tsunami a little bit longer.
Yeah, your ribs got to get all taped up because he done crushed them, stuff like that. No, that's not what they did.
We got Dion. He says, how would y'all rehab Julia? I move her to Raw and put her with the Kabuki Warriors as Asuka's crowned student. This would help with Kyrie's story too. That's a great idea. Honestly, I would just do that.
Yeah, because that would at least give her some type of like connection and like have people like look at her and make her become like a better heel, if that makes sense. Like Asuka being a teacher, and then you have the transition of Kyrie because you see Kyrie is like torn. So that would be good. So then you can have like Julia and Asuka against Kyrie and Io.
Yeah, that would be really good.
That's a good one, Dion. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Good. Yeah, they're not going to do it though.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do it. But I would hope that they would watch the show and steal that. That would be great.
I would love for them to steal it. That would help save Julia wholeheartedly, especially after losing this belt. Get rid of the other that damn girl that they had her with.
Kiana James.
Yeah, Kiana. Yeah, get rid of her, and then have her go to. Matter of fact, find Asuka. Ask Asuka go find her, and they start talking.
And we got to thank Dion, who's been a member for 6 months now. Thank you so much, Dion, for all the support and being a member of the channel here. We got MCATs who brought up that did you guys mention Credit Boy not showing up for shows? Saturday night's main event. VKM never misses shows. This is another thing that's very true. Triple H was so much like the politician backstage during his career, and now he is an actual politician. He's spending more time at the White House than at the shows.
You see that? I've been noticing that. I just ain't saying nothing, but who am I?
Yeah, that's the thing we were saying, Dion, about he's saying that Vince was on the Invasion and St. Valentine's Day posters, but Vince was an on-screen character. Yeah, that's the whole point. Like Triple H is not an on-screen character, yet he's on air. He's getting on the WrestleMania poster. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
None whatsoever.
We got Danny who says, according to Dave Meltzer, now take it with a grain of salt, but Bruce Pritchard gets final say on what's on the shows when Triple H isn't there. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
He's in charge.
That just makes sense. He's in charge. Yeah. He's a second in command. And that's what I told people from the very beginning. Remember when everybody was talking about, oh yeah, he's taking out all of Vince's people. I was like, one of Vince's number one guys throughout history is his number two guy.
Bruce Pritchard. Always been.
Bruce Pritchard, who was still defending Vince McMahon in January of 2024 during the Unreal documentary. That's how he got in charge. You want to talk about WWE and their business practices? We got to talk about Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland is having a difficult time after his WWE exit while being injured. Noting that he feels hung out to dry. As reported, Holland was informed last month that his contract was not being renewed when it expired. His deal ends on November 14th. Holland posted to his Twitter account this week to express frustration with his situation. He wrote, "I never thought I'd not be able to pay my mortgage. I feel like I've been hung out to dry. After getting injured working for another company on behalf of WWE, add to that my contract not being renewed, knowing that I wouldn't be able to wrestle for 7 months. This is brutal. Yes, they are taking care of the surgery and physical therapy, but let's be honest, that's the bare minimum after what we sacrificed for the company. Plus the possibility of having to get my neck fused too. Talk about getting totally fucked." Then Fightful Select has confirmed with sources in the company that Ridge Holland's deal had been terminated. According to word in WWE, the company considered his recent posts as a breach of contract. The report adds it was strongly suggested Holland won't be paid for the remaining 9 days of his deal. The report notes that WWE has to continue providing rehab to Holland as they would likely open themselves up to legal action otherwise. Dave Meltzer provided more details on the situation during Thursday's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. He was talking about the entire situation and what Ridge had to say. According to Meltzer, WWE had initially planned to cut Holland much earlier in his WWE run, which was about a year ago. However, Meltzer reported that Holland worked out a 1-year renewal deal with WWE at a much lower rate. Under his new deal, Holland would remain under the NXT banner for 1 year because he was already part of NXT at the time, but he would still be paid less than what he was receiving a year before. He was likely under a main roster contract at that point due to his time on SmackDown as part of the Brawling Brutes with Sheamus and Pete Dunne, formerly known as Butch. Meltzer stated on WWE renewing Holland a year ago, so they gave him another year. And they probably, in reality had already probably decided that, okay, well, his name might help NXT a little bit because he's got main roster value. It didn't really help them, he wasn't that over. I mean, he did get over a little bit got over with the Chase, Andre Chase thing. But then, I don't think that they ever really expected that to get over. And they didn't follow up or do anything with him. He had been a lame duck for a while, and then he got hurt. Meltzer indicated that rather than cut Holland, WWE simply opted not to renew his contract once it expired later this month, with WWE planning to continue paying him through November 14th. But Holland getting injured at a recent set of TNA Impact TV tapings in September changed everything. Meltzer noted that wrestlers under their WWE contracts are not supposed to talk badly about the company in public. So Holland's recent statements allowed WWE to terminate his contract early. Meltzer added on WWE's position, so they felt like they now have the right to fire him. The journalist noted that WWE terminating Holland's contract early after his recent statements was meant to send a message to contracted talent not to speak badly about the company in public. He went on to say, I mean, however you want to look at it, they want to send a message to everyone out there that if you say anything bad, that you can be cut, and that's what happened. Additionally, Meltzer speculated that there won't be much of a demand for Ridge Holland in AEW or independent promotions, stating, I don't see him fitting in with AEW. I don't see the independent scene is not anywhere near what it used to be. TNA, maybe yes, but maybe no now after his comments. Meltzer explained that the problem with Holland potentially migrating to TNA is TNA's current association with WWE, and Holland suffered his recent injury while working there under WWE contract. Meltzer said the problem with TNA is that they're so beholden to WWE, and they may just think, well, we don't want to get WWE mad. Not that I think WWE would be mad at them if they used him, but TNA, may think that he probably hurt himself with TNA because of all of this. That said, Meltzer expressed his opinion that looking at the company's recent profits being through the roof, there was no reason not to keep Ridge Holland under contract to WWE through his rehab period. He also pointed out that Holland got hurt while he was under contract and on the job for WWE. A GoFundMe campaign was recently launched, organized by Susan Chapman of St. Cloud, Florida, to help raise money for Holland. The campaign has currently raised $4,685,000 of a $60,000 goal. The Wrestling Observer newsletter then reported a few more details on their report from Thursday about Holland being almost released last year. According to the new report, Holland asked to stay and work in NXT with a pay cut. WWE stance is that Holland should have known that he was probably going to be released when his contract was up and should have prepared his finances such. Dave Meltzer noted that this is a matter of TKOs focusing on being pure business and not doing favors if they don't believe talent is of value to them. Meltzer notes that assuming Holland was making between $350,000 to $500,000 on his previous deal, the 55% pay cut that he took would put him at $157,750 to $225,000 he made during his last year in WWE. Of the people that have donated to his GoFundMe, which is now near $10,000 of its goal, Chelsea Green, Raj Desi, Nick Jackson, Omos, Kyle Fletcher have all donated to the GoFundMe. Ridge Holland also addressed his exit on his YouTube channel on Friday. He said on his injury, I find myself in TNA, jumped. Mike Santana had a really, really solid match with Mike. Tons of fun. I had a fantastic time at TNA. It was great. Everyone was fantastic there. Boys, everything. I can't say enough good things about that place. And then, unfortunately, the day after I had that match with Santana, what had happened was I was going for a pop-up powerbomb on Moose. He jumped because he's so athletic. He jumped so high, I thought I was going to lose him. So I stepped forward. He came down, and I stepped back. The foot twisted, and that was my injury. On finding out his contract wasn't being renewed, he said, so I had surgery. I think I recovered for about a week. And I've got kind of like a complimentary stay at one of the resorts in Florida for the family because my mom had flown over to help with the kids because I was incapacitated, can't really do much. And then we got there. The first day, that's when I got the call, and they said that they weren't going to renew my contract. Okay, well, I'm injured and don't know how I'm going to make a living. On his financial situation, he said, I've seen comments about money management and financial stuff. I'm going to air my financial details on here. I'm not going to do that. He says, that's nobody's business. That's nobody knows. Everyone has their own opinion, but like I've always said, opinions are like assholes, right? Everyone's got one, and the majority of them stink. So yeah, I don't want to get into that. On his being terminated after his tweet, he says, the point of this is just to say that I'm grateful for the journey that I've been on, and I'm grateful for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what I do want to hold my hands up for is that my last tweet, that forced the situation to get worse. That was pure frustration, and I'm mad at myself for doing that. Because something that is out of my character for me, I don't react that way. But I think knowing that my career with WWE was coming to an end and I never really got to show my true potential, whether that's my fault or situational regarding injuries or things that happen, whatever, I kind of I feel a little bit wronged. I don't know who by the whole situation. So I hold my hands up. And if I had the time again, I wouldn't have posted that tweet. But I needed an outlet and I needed to vent. On his gratitude for the support he's received, he says, I just want to thank everyone that I came into contact with, really, and everyone that's helped me and taken the time to give me advice, and everyone that's been in touch over this tough period. I just want to say thank you, and I'm going to try to make this YouTube thing and give it a go, see where it takes us, bring you guys on my road to recovery, bring you guys in on what I'm doing, where I'm heading next, because I don't really know. As Holland noted, WWE is paying for his surgery and physical therapy, He suffered the injury working a TNA taping. He noted last month that he may need neck surgery as well. On behalf of everyone here at THH, our best wishes to Ridge Holland for a quick and full recovery. But damn. What a fucking story, man. I mean, there is kind of some fault. He could take in all of this. He should have waited the 9 days to put out the tweet.
Yes.
Should have waited the 9 days to put out the tweet. You could put out the tweet as soon as you are not under contract. You don't want to put out the tweet early and then it just made your situation worse. But WWE is definitely the villain in all of this. This is disgusting. Absolutely. For someone to get hurt under your dime, under contract with you, and you at all intents and purposes, you had always planned to let him go at the end of his contract. But you freeze that fucking contract when he gets injured. And you let him get through his rehab under contract, and then you let him go. I think that is the right way to do things, but that's not always the way in business. So we're just seeing how WWE handles theirs. Krssi, what do you think about this whole situation? And did WWE do Ridge Holland dirty?
I mean, yes, they did Rich very dirty. Sending him over, yes, he should have. I agree with you. You have to wait to vent, because you have every right to vent. That's your feelings. You're the one that's going through this. So you have every right to feel the way you feel. With that being said, WWE knows what they're doing. Oh, we'll pay for your surgery, but that's about it. Like, we don't it happened on our watch. We have to take some type of, we have responsibility, so we'll take care of that. But other than that, you get nothing else. Like, that's some really asshole shit. Like, you don't give them no type of severance. This person is out, may not even be able to go back ever again, and you get nothing. That's terrible, scumbags. But yet you want to be on the covers of posters for WrestleMania and shit. Like, take the blame, people. A lot of y'all got to take the blame for this shit. They did him really, really dirty. Very, very dirty. And they're independent contractors, so they're not covering their grounds on money and things like that. They're living check to check. They have families and they have to travel and make their own ways, and these things all have to be into account. So this is really, really sad, unfortunately.
Oh, I think you're muted, Sid.
Yeah.
I pressed it, but it didn't work. What do you think about the whole Ridge Holland situation, Josh?
I mean, Dirty definitely did do him dirty. I think in the situation, when you're talking about who was more in the wrong, and Rich does have fault for the comments, just more so because it's against his contract. I don't think what he said was necessarily the worst. I think what he said was a valid criticism that he was giving, in my opinion. It wasn't like he bashed the company. He was just talking about what was going on. But if that is against your contract, then it is what it is. They got an easy out based off of that. But I think where WWE looks so much worse is that The guy got not only he got injured, but then after he got injured, you're telling him like, "Oh, we're not going to renew your deal."
Right.
For a show, remind you, he did TNA, and then he didn't get paid extra for that. He didn't get paid extra for working TNA.
And that's nuts. That is nuts to me that you didn't give me extra for going on a third person's promotion that you claim you don't.
And he got injured there. Like he got injured at another company's show, and not even like WWE show. And you know, there were fans who were defending like the rehab stuff, like, oh, you know, but they're paying for his rehab, they're paying for his surgery. They pay for it because they're mandatory to do that within the wellness policy of their contracts. So they are legally held liable for that. So they have to do that. So that's not like, oh, that's the kindness of WWE's heart. They're doing that because they don't want to get sued. That's the only reason why they're doing that. But even if you weren't going to use this guy again, you easily could have put him for like a 1-year contract, have him rehab, and then once that time is up, then, you know, you just let him know. You give him a year in advance saying, like, we're going to keep you for another year, but we're not going to use you. And, you know, whatever the case may be. I think you could have done that. You have enough money to do that. Yeah. You already gave the guy a 50-something% pay cut. You easily could have done it. Give him something. Give him something. You know,
it makes everything else look worse. Is the fact that you gave him a 50% pay cut and still couldn't keep him on for a couple of more months through his rehab period. Come on.
Yeah, you know, you easily could have done that. But you know, am I surprised that WWE opted out to do that? No, because they're not going to do that. They're a corporate business now that they're not going to look out for their wrestlers. Now, granted, you know, in comparison, if this was Tony Khan, would he have done Ridge that favor? Absolutely. I do feel like somebody like him would have done that because he knows how it is having a family. Ridge has multiple kids. You know, he has a whole family. But it's hard for him, and I understand. And that's why, you know, regardless of how I feel about Ridge as a wrestler, regardless of how I feel, everybody, they're still human at the end of the day. They do this to provide for their families. He might not be the best guy, but he's doing this for his family. He's doing this, you know, to provide. And once you take that out, obviously he's going to vent. And that's why I'm like, that's why I don't, you know, I feel bad for that, because like I understand where he's coming from. Venting, he's right, and at least he takes a form of accountability for that. So I give him props for that. At least he's like owning that. He's not like making excuses. He was like, he should have waited. So, you know, I give him credit for that. But overall, I mean, it sucks. You know, I wish him well, and you know, once he's ready, you know, hopefully, you know, hopefully something comes up for him.
I don't know. I think Dave was onto something of like, there aren't a lot of places for him. I hope that he is able to bounce back and is able to find a role somewhere, whether it be on the independent scene, whether it be on the convention circuit. I think something like that would probably be better off for him as far as like convention circuit, where he could use his WWE name value to his advantage. But damn, it's sad. It's sad, the part you're talking about with the fans that will defend WWE when they are basically doing this to a family. Like, he got hurt on their dime, on their under their contract, with going to a different promotion that he really shouldn't have even been on, especially when he's winding down his contract. You shouldn't let him go over to another promotion where he might get hurt.
Yeah, you know, and that's why I mean, again, people are going to twerk for the E no matter what. But it's just one of those things. I mean, it's one of those things. I'm just saying, man. It's like, come on, guys. Like, you don't always got to do that. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, all these people are human at the end of the day, and you know, you always got to at least look at the human element to it. And the fact that this company could brag about making profits and making all this stuff, and then you're telling me you can't pay this man less than $250,000. Are you telling me you can't do that? Come on. Don't try to sell me on that.
this comes this week when WWE reported that they have new record profits for the third quarter. But
that's even worse. That's
didn't
even worse.
stop them from releasing an injured guy with a family. There you go. That's WWE for you folks. So you know who you're defending. We got Dion who says, I feel bad for Ridge, but at the same time, I don't agree with using social media as your public diary. Nothing good comes from that. Yeah, that's what I said. He chose the wrong time to do it. Yeah, I don't care if he uses it as public diary on November 14th. It's the timing. It's the timing. I don't care what he said. He was right to feel that way and feel however he felt about the whole situation.
Right.
And what he said, it was honest, and it probably came from the heart, but it was just the wrong time.
I would say again, he's right to have those feelings. He just didn't have to do it in that time frame. You could have just said it like later on, without like
you know, in regards to social media, you know, there are people who do that. Don't get me wrong, there are people who do that. I think some people tend to linger on to that a little too much, but Ridge wasn't really doing that. You know, he wasn't really an active like social media guy. But once he did that, like again, what he said, I don't think it's like the worst thing he said. There are far more worse things that I've seen that people have said about WWE while being under WWE. So him saying this wasn't really like, it wasn't crazy, but if it's against your contract, it is what it is. This is a company's easy way out of like, all right, you violated the terms of your contract. All right, we're gonna get you out. It is what it is, you know. But again, at least Ridge is owning up to that. At least he took accountability for that.
Yeah, we got a super chat donation from our man Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, I know that Ridge played a part in Big E's injury, but it was an accident after all. But for some fans to wish upon his downfall, I felt they were so damn harsh. The fact of the matter is, Big E has forgiven Ridge Holland. What Ridge Holland and Big E, what happened with them was an accident. Accidents happen in professional wrestling. We can't basically wish for this guy's downfall and give him death threats. That's what he also talked about during his whole interview. He received death threats after the Big E injury. It's way too much. This is where people are crossing the line of fandom and how much investment they have in professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is supposed to be an escape. It's supposed to be fun. You should not be getting to the point of your fandom where you're getting mad at a wrestler and sending death threats. That's way too extreme, especially for someone who's a father and has kids. That's scary.
Yeah, you know, and you know, in regards to the Big E stuff, like, am I happy about what happened? No. But also it was a situation like you said, Big E forgave them, you know, and at least, you know, if Big E, he might not be wrestling, but guess what? Big E's healthy and he's doing great. You know, you see him, he's making the best out of his life, what he could do with currently with his career. You know, he might not be wrestling, but at least he's, you know, doing what he wants to do. You know, and I think people need to look at that too, where it's like, he's not wrestling, but at least he's still alive. You know what I mean? Tyson Kidd, he had that injury with Samoa Joe. You know, he never blamed Samoa Joe once for that, but he's still, you know, he's working as an agent and he's actually really good at it. So at least there's some kind of like accountability where these guys are still doing what they want to do in some kind of form. I just think people. But
even this week, it came out about Natalia's biography where TJ Wilson was done dirty as well. He just wanted an apology from the company, and the company wouldn't even do that. And the company basically filed an NDA against Natalya that she couldn't talk about his injury in the locker room.
That's crazy, you know, and but with this whole thing with Big, you know, people are like, I don't know, that's just it's a little too far. Where it's like, hey, the guy that it happened to, if he's, you know, if in his heart he forgave the guy, Big E never had any ill will towards Ridge, even when that happened. He know this is when you get into wrestling, this is a major risk. What you got, what they do is anything could happen. We saw Liv Morgan had like a simple move, and she's been out for 6 months because of it. It's a risk no matter what you do. And what happened was, you know, it's very unfortunate, but I just think a lot of fans just need to, like, you know, you guys need to relax sometimes. And, you know, to risk death from somebody is just, obviously people are not going to do it, but then it's like you're doing it for a trigger point. It's still not cool if you're just doing it as to get him mad, you know, to get him upset. Shouldn't be doing it no matter what.
Nope.
The other big news from this week in the world of WWE, well, the biggest news coming out of the weekend was the announcement of WWE having a 16-man tournament to determine John Cena's final opponent for his retirement match at Saturday night's main event on December 13th. John Cena made the announcement during a voiceover video package for the Last Time Is Now tournament. This raised intrigue among the fans about the possible names from outside of WWE that were teased during the video package. On last Sunday's episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez talked about it. The duo claimed that WWE is trying to tease Adam Copeland and Chris Jericho as possible participants, before adding that wouldn't be the case due to their existing deals with AEW. Meltzer then added that the possible participants from outside the company would be people like Matt Cardona. Cena is, of course, set to wrestle his retirement match next month in Washington, D.C. at Saturday night's main event. Ahead of his retirement match, there had been some speculation that Cena may go after Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental Championship and beat him before dropping it to Gunther on December 13th. In the most recent edition of Fightful Select's Q&A session, Sean Ross Sapp answered a fan inquiry about the Cena versus Dominic Mysterio match at Survivor Series. Sapp said the above-mentioned angle has certainly been discussed backstage. He also claimed that there were some very serious conversations about John Cena and championships in the aftermath of Seth Rollins relinquishing the World Heavyweight Championship a few weeks ago on Raw due to injury. However, the Wrestling Insider was unsure how far those discussions actually went. Sapp also cast doubts on WWE having a well-thought-out plan for John Cena's retirement program, and that seems pretty obvious now. So there's a few questions to talk about with the Last Time Is Now tournament. It is set to begin this Monday on Raw. We have 2 matches announced. It's going to be Damian Priest going one-on-one with Rusev. It's going to be Sheamus going one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura. And then next Friday on SmackDown, they have announced Jey Uso versus The Miz and LA Knight versus a mystery partner, a mystery opponent, which will be the first surprise of the tournament. So, question to you, Miss Krssi Love. Who do you think will be this first surprise in the tournament next Friday on SmackDown? And who do you think will benefit the most from this tournament? And who do you think will win? Who's going to win the Last Time Is Now tournament to face John Cena in his final match? Oh, Chrissy's gone. Josh.
Oh, shit. I was like, wait. She was like, you know what? I want to talk about this. So you said, what was the question?
Who do you think is going to be the first surprise for the tournament on SmackDown next week? And who do you think is going to benefit from this tournament, and who wins?
The first surprise, I think it's definitely somebody from NXT. I'm gonna go on the whim and say Obafemi. I could be 100% wrong. Who benefits the most? I would say somebody from NXT. I think that you need some momentum when it comes to that, at least. Because as far as like the people that they announced so far, like when I saw the list, I'm like, okay, none of these motherfuckers are winning that they showed so far, which was what, 5 so far. I'm like, none of them are winning. So they
showed 4 matches so far. They've showed 4 matches with 7 people announced.
7 people. I'm like, yeah, none of them are winning. At least from what I saw so far. So it's like, I think somebody from NXT will benefit the most. And as far as who wins, I mean, you know, the rumors have already been out there. I think Gunther ends up winning. I do think he's probably the most prominent name when it comes to trying to put somebody over or making it a big deal in a way. The ring general, you know. So I think he would. I think they're gonna stick with that. I think he's still gonna end up winning. But as far as anybody being pushed, I think it's somebody from NXT. I think somebody NXT would benefit the most from it.
I think that they are at least going to give LA Knight one win in this tournament because, man, if LA Knight loses next Friday, they just are admitting that they're burying him. So I would think that the surprise is someone that's going to have to lose. It's Joe Hendry. It's like, dude, it was like the most obvious thing ever. I was like, if it's a surprise for someone who's gonna lose, it's so obvious it's Joe Hendry. And
like, Joe Hendry is gonna be your future so far.
I hate to pop your bubble, Danny. I'm not gonna say for sure, but it's highly unlikely Mike Santana is gonna be in this tournament. Mike Santana has no connection to this tournament. Mike Santana is not known by the main roster fans. He's the TNA World Champion. Yeah, so there's a chance. You're now, like I said, I'm not going to say 100%. It's unlikely. It's highly unlikely, though.
Yeah, and then also putting Mike in that situation where LA Knight should win. You're not doing your TNA champion any favors once again.
Yes,
we already had that with the Royal Rumble. We already had that WrestleMania. You think that he's going to try a triple whammy? They would. But don't get me wrong. They would do that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the right time to do that.
Yeah, and I agree with Josh. These matches are trash. They are basura. Oh, my God. Nigga said Jey Uso versus The Miz. I was like, dude, what? Like, I was already
they shouldn't even have this. They shouldn't even be doing this. This is dumb.
I was already upset about the matches announced for Monday Night Raw because I was like, I don't want to see either one of those matches. I think Damian Priest and Rusev will at least be good, but I don't want to really see either one of these matches.
Nobody cares.
Jey Uso versus The Miz. They was like, okay, you don't want to see those matches. We'll give you a match that you would hate. You would hate watch. This is a hate watch waiting to happen. Miss Krssi Love, who do you think is going to be the surprise opponent against LA Knight next Friday on SmackDown?
Like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Joe Hendry. You guys been like giving him, like having him backstage and like giving him these little nuggets and him like singing and doing this stuff, so he can afford to lose and let help. Even though LA Knight should be like one of like a better opponent, but hey, here we are. Like he can stand to get a loss against him. So whatever. I think that's a good suggestion. Are they gonna? I don't even feel like they're gonna give Mike Santana any type of shine.
That's what I say. I can't say 100% he's not going to be in the tournament.
I don't even think
it's highly unlikely, and there's no reason to do it because he has to lose.
Let it be Trick Williams. He could lose.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick someone who's going to benefit from like getting called up in this tournament, I would say Trick Williams. Trick Williams. Yeah. Plus, Trick Williams has a story where he would make sense to win the tournament because if you remember 2 years ago when he was the sidekick of Carmelo Hayes, Cena came down to NXT and he had that moment backstage where he asked Cena after Carmelo left. He was like, when did you know that your time was now? And Cena is the one that gave him the advice to go after the NXT championship. So he has that connection with them that they can call back to and he would make sense. Plus, it's a totally different Trick from that Trick that he is right now. He's much more cocky and he would work as a heel against Cena. But yeah, I think Gunther winning the matchup. And I kind of agree with Danny in the chat. I think it was Danny. He said they should have just give Gunther the matchup. It would have made way more sense for Gunther to come out after returning. Gunther comes out after returning and says, I retired Goldberg. Now I want to add someone else's retirement. I want to retire another legend. I'm going after John Cena. That's much more of an intriguing story than Gunther winning a tournament.
Yeah.
It really is.
So here we are. But Saturday night's main event, it closed with CM Punk winning the World Heavyweight Championship, had Jade Cargo winning the WWE Women's Championship, which had a lot of people talking about the AEW crossover in WWE.
They had to do this picture.
Recent reports suggest that WWE may be sending a subtle message to rival AEW by prominently featuring several former AEW stars as current WWE champions at Saturday night's main event. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer claimed that there is clearly a message that the grass is greener. While he noted that some former AEW performers such as Rey Fenix and Rusev are not holding titles, he also mentions they are still getting TV time. He also claimed that they didn't get any in AEW because Tony Khan figured they were leaving anyway. Right now, former AEW stars CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, Ricky Saint, Blake Monroe, and Ethan Page all hold gold in WWE. Meltzer noted that the recent photo at the WWE event in Salt Lake City featuring NXT champion Ricky Saint appeared alongside other champions Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Jade Cargill, all of whom posed with their championship belts, and shared by Punk with the caption, "Look at us," was clearly meant to be a shot at AEW.
They ain't doing nothing with that foolishness, please.
It's cute.
Okay, it's cute. It was bound to happen. Hey guys, look at us. We're all former. We all came from the same place. Now look at us, all over here dominating. No, you're not.
You really Cody is, I guess.
Okay, Cody.
Give him Cody. With Saturday night's main event in the rearview mirror, the company's focus is now going to be on the upcoming Survivor Series WarGames event coming up at the end of November. The Wrestling Observer newsletter had the latest on the plans for the event. The men's WarGames bout, according to Meltzer, initially included CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, and either Jimmy Uso or LA Knight facing the team of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, and Austin Theory. According to Meltzer, if Jacob Fatu is unavailable for the event, LA Knight or Jimmy Uso could step in. With Seth Rollins sidelined due to injury, Logan Paul has reportedly been discussed as his replacement. Meltzer believed the upcoming shows would clarify the storyline direction for both Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory, whose roles may shift as creative plans evolve. He particularly expects big angles during WWE Raw at Madison Square Garden in 2 weeks. On the women's side, initial plans were for AJ Lee, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss to take on Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Becky Lynch, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. However, Rhea Ripley's participation remains uncertain as she recovers from a broken nose. Meltzer noted that there has been no teasing of any of this past Flair and Bliss versus Asuka and Sane that takes place on Raw this week. Additionally, Survivor Series 2025 may feature an Intercontinental Championship matchup between Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Meltzer recalled the initial plans had John Cena instead of Rey, with Cena winning the belt. However, he claimed that this match could be a segue to a Cena match in San Diego. While Meltzer believes Cena, with 4 appearances left on his current schedule, may take part in his final premium live event at Survivor Series, he would likely be on the next 2 episodes of Raw to build up his final match instead of Survivor Series. So
Survivor
that
Series
is the update.
That's 3 weeks from now.
3 weeks from today, yes.
3 weeks from today. Still nothing.
Yes. No matches announced.
Nothing.
They're gonna announce it this week. If we're here next week and they start announcing 20 minutes, yeah, WarGames. Probably gonna announce WarGames on Raw. Recent reports from the Wrestling Observer newsletter indicate that Jesse the Body Ventura is done with WWE. He may have reached the conclusion of his contract. He last appeared on the Saturday night's main event in July, but he did not appear on the November 1st episode, and no mention of him. Dave Meltzer said that Ventura's contract was believed to be a 1-year agreement around special appearances at Saturday night's main event. His contract may have wrapped out with the last event on his schedule. WWE has not issued an official statement regarding Ventura's status or future involvement. He noted that Ventura's name was not a major topic of discussion, and his most recent commentary appearance for the Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest cage match reportedly received mixed feedback, which may have influenced the decision not to feature him in later broadcasts. Following that event, Ventura's on-air presence was downplayed. Even while his contract was presumably still active, he did not make any appearances or receive mentions. At this stage, WWE has neither confirmed nor denied that Jesse the Body Ventura remains under contract. His future with the promotion, including the possibility of sporadic appearances, remains uncertain. It should be noted that Ventura recently received his own character model on WWE's 2K25 Saturday night's main event downloadable content.
Yeah.
Josh, we reviewed that show where he talked about that with the cage match. They never brought him back after that. They got that pissed.
And you know, it's crazy when they were bringing him back in the first place. This is something that I didn't mention. I was like, I forgot what was it, but I remember I mentioned where I was like, the way that he goes off script, I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna keep him very long or they're gonna use him very much because he tends to do that. And this was a perfect example of it.
Didn't take long at all, huh?
This was like the second one, right? I believe this was like the second.
No, that was in May. That was the one in May.
So there's like what, the third one?
Yeah, that was the third one.
Yeah,
you guys know, like,
because he made that situation so awkward with Damian Priest. Like he made it so awkward.
He did. He was so pissed.
You guys know, once you cross them but one time, they're not going to let you come back. And if they do, it's only, they got to let you suffer for a little while. Then they'll let you come back.
Yeah, but it's just more funny because I mean, this is just a material. Like we kind of, I knew he was gonna go off script. I knew he was gonna do something. It's just I didn't know it was gonna happen like that soon.
Well, I mean, here we are.
I see you already answered him in the chat, but I will as well. Danny says Mike Santana was over as fuck every time he's been on NXT, so WWE fans do know who he is. So I could see him in the tournament. You mean the 200 people that's in that gym? Yeah, he's really over with 200 people.
A lot of people don't watch NXT, like, and that's why I wrote in the thing. I'm like, they don't watch NXT, so they don't know who he is. Not the majority of fans that watch every week. No, they don't. And again, Mike does not need to be in the tournament. Like he doesn't need to be. Like it's not a bad thing because if he's in it, he's gonna lose. They shouldn't be doing that.
You're doing the same thing you did last week, Danny, where you're trying to create your own logic to have what you want. We understand that's what you do, but hey. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's stock value in TKO is apparently up. He's reached an estimated value of nearly $70 million, according to recent reports. The backstage update follows Johnson's latest monthly stock insurance under his January 2024 agreement with the company. As reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Johnson has received 8,047 new TKO shares valued at $1,516.55. Issued earlier this month. This brings his total stock value to $69.7 million as the most recent valuation date. His stock arrangement was established after the WWE Endeavor merger. He is a member of the board of directors of TKO. Meanwhile, Nick Khan, WWE's president, has reportedly sold 9,119 shares of TKO on November 3rd. The transaction apparently generated about $1.79 million in proceeds. The Rock has not appeared on WWE television since John Cena's heel turn back at Elimination Chamber at the beginning of March, and it remains to be seen whether he will be back around for next year's WrestleMania in Las Vegas once again.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Making money, making bank. He's taking over. He was right, and he's taking over. I can't wait.
So excited.
WWE SmackDown last night. The show featured Cody Rhodes kicking off the program to talk about his win over Drew McIntyre at WWE Saturday Night's main event. Unfortunately, he was interrupted by Aleister Black and Zelina, who taunted him, and then Zelina slapped Cody across the face. This led to SmackDown GM Nick Aldis coming out to make Rhodes versus Black in the main event. Later, Rhodes faced Aleister Black. I had to put this picture up because this picture looks awesome. Mm-hmm. This looks dope. This is dope.
Smokes.
Dope ass picture. Mm-hmm. Their match, though, went to a no contest when Drew McIntyre came in to deliver a Claymore to the same referee that reffed his matchup at Saturday night's main event. This led to a huge brawl post-match with McIntyre and Black jumping Rhodes until Damian Priest was able to make the save. Then you had Nick Aldis, SmackDown GM, he came out and he suspended Drew McIntyre after striking the referee to close the show. Chelsea Green. Oh, they also should mention Drew and Aldis had a heated F-bomb tirade backstage after the show as well. Chelsea Green faced Julia, and in less than 2 minutes, Chelsea Green became the two-time WWE Women's United States Champion. She celebrated post-match with Ethan Page in the crowd. Jade Cargill came out to make a statement after winning the WWE Women's Championship at Saturday night's main event. She called out basically said she was dominant and proved her worth at the event. Then she got into a tense stare down with Charlotte Flair, who came out for her matchup against Nia Jax. Later, Cargill called out Chelsea Green talking trash and got into it with B-Fab to set up a match for next week. Finally, Nia Jax picked up a win over Charlotte Flair thanks to a distraction from debuting Lash Legend attacking Alexa Bliss at ringside to make her NXT call-up and to help her new tag team partner Jax pick up the win. Post-match, later in the show, you had the Kabuki Warriors dressed up as doctors to spit mist into the champion's eyes ahead of their matchup. Shinsuke Nakamura, the Motor City Machine Guns, came out for revenge on the MFTs ahead of Tala Tonga, picking up a win over Rey Fenix. Post-match, Tala and Solo were about to attack Phoenix when Sami Zayn came out to make the save. And Ilya Dragunov defeated Johnny Gargano in another banger of an open challenge to retain the United States Championship. This is 3 straight successful title defenses for Dragunov so far. Krssi, any thoughts on last night's SmackDown?
Jade's first opponent is going to be B-Fab. It's great stuff. That's really good. Goes to show you we are 100% behind you, and we're going to have you dominate all the jobbers. Such good stuff. I could have booked this myself. Even better.
To be fair, it's not a championship match, at least.
You might as well make it a championship match. You know, B-Fab is not winning. Not to say anything bad about her, but, we had nothing ready for her. Good stuff, guys. Ready to go, WWE? You're on it. Spot on. Yep.
Josh, any quick thoughts on SmackDown last night?
No, I mean, Krssi had me laughing when she laughed at the B-Fab thing. She was laughing when you were saying that. But SmackDown, I mean, you know they had too many events that had no finishes, right? This week.
But that's what SmackDown has become.
Yep.
Friday night
but it's very rare that we get 2 complete non-finishes in both shows. Usually it's two DQ finishes in both shows, but they give us no winners in none of the main events of their 2 top shows this week.
The Drew stuff I'm not thrilled about at all. I mean, I was already over it. I was over it after the first matchup, and then he gave us another one, and then now I'm just I'm completely over it, because this is the that I've been saying the whole entire time when it comes to Cody's title reign, where why is he gonna face Drew a potential 3rd time? Drew already lost twice. Why do you keep?
He has to lose the 3rd one. Come on, guys.
And I just feel the 3rd one for what? They're not even. He lost.
I know he lost. At least let Drew win the title. Have it for 2 weeks.
Come on, he ain't winning the title. He ain't winning the title at this point. He ain't winning.
You think Drew winning this title?
I mean, might as well.
Let's be serious here.
Okay, fine. I'm not being serious. You're right.
You know he ain't winning this damn title anytime.
Okay.
But it's just why did they don't need to run it back? They really do not need to do this. And it's this is why people are getting tired of Cody. Because it's you keep going to the same shit, doing the same opponents, doing the same thing, and then we kind of know the end result. And this has always been a WWE kind of type issue where it's like they have these feuds for these champions, but then it's like when you get to like what's the point of doing a third matchup when you already won, the person already won the feud? This is the same shit they did with Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins faced Finn. Seth Rollins won twice, and then everyone was like, "Oh, you know, Finn's finally gonna win the third match and be champion." And guess what? Seth won again. So it's like we're doing the same shit over and over again. Like when it comes to like these title reigns, I don't need to see it. This is what you're gonna do. I don't need to see it for a third. What are you gonna do differently for a third time? Or are you gonna make a stipulation match? I don't give a shit at this point.
You shouldn't. You just shouldn't. Yes, this is like the Cody thing. Cody beat Drew 3 times. He needs to beat Drew. He beat Seth 3 times, so he needs to beat Drew 3 times.
I mean, he beat KO 4 times. Like,
either way, there you go. Then we got some news notes to touch on. One of the bigger notes from last night's SmackDown was Lash Legend making her main roster debut, joining forces with Nia Jax, helping the latter defeat Charlotte Flair. She's now made her return to SmackDown after nearly a year. WWE.com has moved Legend to the SmackDown roster. She was previously in NXT. According to WrestleVotes, the two will be a team moving forward. WWE Creative have a level of optimism with Legend, according to the report. Jackson Legend spoke with Kathy Kelly after the match. Jax said that she faced Legend at NXT and she's formidable, and she acknowledged that Legend was a friend of hers. Legend then talked herself up and said that she and Jax were heading straight to the top. So we'll see if they will be able to capture tag team gold, but what a team to put together. I was like, God damn.
No,
y'all want these two big girls to beat the hell out of everybody?
They're throwing the Kabuki Warriors.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. It's WWE, you know. WWE has confirmed the first Saturday night's main event of 2026 will take place on January 24th at the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. But Kevin Owens won't likely be part of it. The event will follow a SmackDown taping schedule for the night before in Montreal. However, recent backstage reports of the Wrestling Observer newsletter indicate that Kevin Owens will not be making his in-ring return during the Montreal events. Despite ongoing speculation about his status, Dave Meltzer has clarified that Owens' recovery timeline makes an early 2026 comeback unlikely. For those unaware, Owens underwent neck surgery in July 2025, and he is set for a 1-year recovery. At present, WWE has made no official announcement regarding Owens' comeback timeline. Fans hoping to see him at the Montreal events in January will likely need to wait longer. However, the former WWE Universal Champion posted a 10-second clip on Friday working out at the Performance Center. It was reported on Friday that he won't likely return in Montreal, but this was a helpful and hopeful sign for the fans. Neither WWE nor Owens have given an announcement on when Owens may return to the ring, but he has not appeared since making the announcement that he was pulled from the WrestleMania card earlier this year. I think it's probably best to say Kevin Owens won't be back at least until like the summer of 2026 after WrestleMania.
Yeah, and also those are nothing shows. You know, Montreal don't. You know, you don't gotta worry about Montreal. Well, fuck it.
Yeah. Someone who could be on the way back is Bianca Belair. She was reportedly in town for last week's episode of SmackDown. Sean Ross Sapp noted in the latest Fightful Select Answers Q&A that Belair was in Salt Lake City for last Friday's episode. There is still no word on when Belair may be returning to WWE TV. She has not been in action or been out of action since WrestleMania 41, where she suffered a broken finger. The most recent report said that there was no report on when she may be returning to the ring. The previous report noted that Belair's injury may be worse than expected. Sapp noted in a Q&A that the break was to her knuckle and one of the worst that you can get. It was noted that people in WWE thought that it wouldn't be that bad, but only because she reacted well to it backstage. Belair has appeared on WWE TV since showing up on the May 30th episode of WWE SmackDown. However, she has yet to make her return to the ring.
Now, bodyslam.net is reporting some new details on the severity of the injury. According to the report, Belair broke the finger in 3 places as well as her joint. The injury affected both her finger and the knuckle, and the outlet cites sources in WWE as saying that Belair's recovery has been difficult. That said, there's a belief within that she may be able to return in the early part of 2026. WWE is hopeful for that return window, and the site notes the potential of her earlier return as well. So, her whole entire knuckle? Damn. You just break your knuckle in a matchup and kept wrestling? Bianca Belair is tougher.
You had to.
There's always a choice. She chose the latter.
Jesus, that's one. She's tough. You know, yeah. I mean, yeah, there is a choice, but wrestlers feel like there is no choice. So I can also understand that. But we're gonna continue. We're going to continue with WWE news in a bit here, but Miss Krssi Love, she has to go early this week, so I think it is TikTok time. It's time for TikTok time. Yes, indeed. Giving it to y'all early, and we're coming back with the game that we introduced last week on the show, the newest game, which is Best or Worst. Best Worst. Basically, where I give Krssi, Josh, and I'll give myself, as well as you in the chat. I'll give you a wrestler's name, and you tell me what is their best moment, what is their worst moment. Miss Krssi Love, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Becky Lynch.
Her mute yourself? I'm sorry. Her best year?
No, best moment, worst moment.
Oh, best moment becoming Becky 2 belts. I think worst moment.
WrestleMania 35.
35, right. I think worst moment. Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, wait, hold on. Well, that's not a worst one because she had to go relinquish the title because she got pregnant. So that's not the worst.
That's a beautiful moment. She's pregnant.
It's not a bad moment. That's a great moment. So her debut, maybe when she first came on NXT, it was terrible music, and she was doing like this whole like Irish dance and whatnot. So that could be the worst. What do you have,
Josh? Okay, go Josh first. Josh.
Her best moment, I will say maybe the night that she got her nose broken, because that
that made her transcended her into being the man. That's true. That is
like that kind of transcended not only being the man, but like being like the top person in the company overall.
Yes, that heel was crazy.
Her worst moment, it's kind of hard to say because I thought like Becky has always had those long periods where we're like, oh, we want more for Becky. I would say either between her debut, maybe her NXT run, or I don't know, because even I would say SummerSlam where she came back and beat Bianca in like 3 seconds, but then she won the title. That's the answer.
That's the answer. No, that's the answer. That's the answer.
So I'm not too wrong. All right, so I'm not too wrong.
Say it again.
It's the comeback at SummerSlam 2021.
Oh, against Bianca.
Squashed Bianca.
Oh yeah, that is the worst. You're right.
That's the worst thing.
She won the title.
Moment.
I was debating because she won the title, but then I was like, damn, you just killed Bianca in 6 seconds. Like, damn. Yep. Like
that is the worst. That is the worst moment. You're right.
That is everything that Becky Lynch isn't. Like the debut is not her worst moment because she was able to recover from that, and honestly, pretty quickly she was able to recover from that. Like the SummerSlam 2021, it's not until WrestleMania, until she finally puts over Bianca, that we are able to recover from that.
That's true, and I think at that point that's where we're like, oh shit, like Becky is actually like one of the best workers in the company. Like that kind of like I want to say saved her, but it was kind of like a realization that we were like, you know what, Becky is one of the best.
All right, I got an easy one for you, Josh. CM Punk.
Oh my god. His best moment? I would say his best moment was Money in the Bank when he beat Cena and left the company with the belt. That's his best moment, I would say. His worst? And it's just like WWE related, right?
It could be. It's CM Punk. I didn't say WWE related.
Oh, that's easy.
Shit.
You know what
for me, it's easy. The press conference in AEW.
Yep. There you go.
Brawl out. That's the worst moment.
I work with children.
I'll be honest. I do not think that's his worst moment. Do not think that's his worst moment. CM Punk's best moment, it's either between Money in the Bank against Cena or his comeback in 2021. Worst moment, it's definitely going to Saudi Arabia this year.
Oh my god. Yo, I did not think about that.
Because Brawl Out, that's totally in line with who CM Punk is. That's why CM Punk fans are able to. That's why CM Punk fans are still able to defend Brawl Out. They're able to defend Brawl In. You ain't seen not a one CM Punk fan defend him going to Saudi Arabia. That's why that's his worst moment.
You see, you got a point there. It's funny. I didn't even think about that, and I was just like, "Damn, you kind of right," because that kind of goes against who CM Punk is.
Exactly. All right, you are up again, Miss Krssi Love. I will give you. Let's go with. Give you an easy one, Trish Stratus.
Ooh.
Well, remind me before you guys leave, so you can put it on.
I would say probably when she main event Raw for the first time. So her best moment
against Lita.
Yes, and then her worst when she had to be Vince McMahon's like lap doggy or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's an easy one. Like, it's definitely the bark like a dog.
Yeah.
The inhumane treatment of bark like a dog. And probably her.
You can never do that now.
I would say either the Raw main event or I would say her retiring as women's champion is a big one. Her first women's title is a big one. She has a couple of ones that would be in contention for best moment, but worst moment is definitely Vince making you bark like a dog. Inhumane treatment. But yes, what we got up next here? One more for Josh here, and then we'll move on. We got main event Jey Uso.
Best moment for Jey Uso?
Winning running the Royal Rumble, I guess.
Best moment for Jey Uso, I will say, You know what's crazy with Jey Uso? I could say the Royal Rumble.
Or Mania.
I could also kind of say, even though this might be weird, his match with Roman Reigns, his first match with Roman.
When he became main event Jey Uso.
I would go
like
with
that one.
I'll probably go with Roman one just because like it kind of solidified Jey as like a singles guy.
Yeah.
Even though he got his ass beat, but he took the beating he took it well. But as in character wise, as in like what it did for him going forward, probably that match with Roman, I would say. The worst, WrestleMania 40.
The match with Jimmy, yes. You might be right. That was really bad. I would probably say the Jimmy match because that was built up for so long and let so many people down. But I would say for best moment, I'm gonna say Royal Rumble 2023. His performance for the Sami Zayn turn on the bloodline. That's his best performance.
Yeah.
That's his best performance for me. So that's his best moment for me.
That's a good one.
All right. So we're done with best and worst. We got a new game, but it's a quick one. We're all gonna get one wrestler and one wrestler's name, and we're gonna tell the folks at home, we're gonna tell the viewers, what did we learn about this person in 2025? What did this person teach us in 2025? What did we learn about this person in 2025? For example, mine person is going to be Seth Rollins. What did I learn about Seth Rollins in 2025? It don't matter how much this company gives him. He will never be the number one guy.
Never. That's true.
Something will happen. Something will go wrong, and he won't be the number one guy. I am seeing too much evidence, too many times with Seth Rollins. Something will go wrong. He will never be the number one guy in this company. That's what I learned from Seth Rollins in 2025. Josh, what did you learn from Hangman Adam Page in 2025?
What I learned from Hangman is that when you put focus on somebody, they could make it, they could do great things. And Hangman has proven that he's the face of the company. He's the face of AEW. He's the face of the company. He's the main character of AEW. And, he had his redemption.
Good stuff there. And Krssi Love, what did you learn in 2025 from Cody Rhodes?
Oh, God.
That his run is dog shit.
Damn, Krssi.
You want to know what I learned from Cody Rhodes? That Cody Rhodes is becoming more of a politician by the year. That's what I'm learning from Cody Rhodes. He ain't for me.
What I learned from Cody Rhodes is he's not John Cena. He's not the second coming of John Cena that WWE wanted us to believe he was.
Yeah.
He's not.
All right, but we bringing back a game that everyone loves to finish off and send Krssi off on the right foot. It's time for Guess the Faction by emojis. It's your favorite, Krssi. It's your favorite. This is your favorite thing that we do here on the show now. It's Guess the Faction by emoji. We got 5 factions here, guys. 5 factions here. We got one up top, and we'll start with that one. So we have a tree, we have a stump, and we have a cowboy emoji. Josh, we'll start with you. What faction is that?
Oh, that's a learning tree.
That one was easy. Then finally
gave you an easy one to start things off here, right? And I'm not going to go in order this time. I'm going to help Krssi Love out, and I'm going to give Krssi Love the third one, right in the middle, because we have a game controller. We have a heart that is broken. We have a dog emoji, a peach emoji, and the number 9 emoji. What faction is that?
Division?
No.
Okay. Judgment Day? Nope. Not Judgment Day. I got nothing for you, friend.
All right. That is. You want to take a guess, Josh?
Yes, DX.
That is correct.
How? How is
Video
that?
game controller, the game Triple H. The heartbreak is
Shawn Michaels.
Dog, Road Dog. The ass is Mr. Ass.
Oh, come on. That's...
And the 9, if you turn it upside down, is what? A 6. X-Pac.
Okay.
So
Fine, fair, okay. Great.
Josh, we'll go to you next. We have a crown. We have a lady in a crown emoji. We have a snake. We have a man in a suit. We have a big red circle, and we have a lock with a key. What faction is that? That's the second one on our list here.
Oh, damn. You see, this one is this one's tough. So it's a crown, a girl in a crown, a snake. What's the other? What's that? A man in a suit, you said?
Yeah. You actually are. You guys are actually right in the chat. The 9 was for China. You're actually are right. I sometimes don't forget. I sometimes forget what I wrote down. No, why I wrote it down. So thank you. You guys are awesome.
I'm going to go with. I think I know who it is. I think it's the Authority, Crown, Triple H, second person Stephanie, Randy, right? The snake, Randy, the suit. Who is it? Sue? I don't even know. The red is Kane. So I think it's Authority. I'm gonna go with the Authority.
You are correct. That is the crown for the King of Kings, the princess, $1 billion princess, Stephanie McMahon. The snake is Randy Orton. The guys in the suits, it's just everybody wore suits in the Authority. Yeah, JJ, it could be J&J security, but the lock with the key is security. And the big red, big red machine.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's funny though. He's like, everybody wears suits, so we put a suit.
Krssi, you're gonna go with the fourth one here. Yes, fourth one here.
It's a scarf emoji.
We have a scarf emoji. We have a bald man emoji. We have a gun emoji. We have a world emoji, and we have a chair emoji. Who is it? What
the
faction
Pinnacle?
Is that? That is correct. That is the scarf for MJF. The bald man is Dax. The gun is Cash. The world is Wardlow's world, and the chair is the chairman, Sean Spears. I mean, I couldn't figure out any other emoji. What can I say? Then we have the final one for Josh. We have an urn. We have a blood drop. We have, I'm guessing that's a ruler. We have a cross, and we have a coffin.
I'm gonna say Ministry of Darkness.
That is correct. Josh is just the expert. Josh is
that one was the easy one. The urn and the casket gave it to you alone.
Yes, that's true. That is true. See, you're mad that Josh got easy ones this week.
That's correct, but it's whatever. It's okay. He can have this game. I don't like this game anyway, so it's okay.
Krssi Love, we must bid you adieu. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they will see you again.
Hey peeps, you can see myself and XP will probably do power review of Force for the last season this week sometime. We'll figure it out. Other than that, you can follow me Krssi Love _1 Tru Heel Krssi Love and just my plain old name. So thank you. I'll be back next week. Bye guys.
We will see you then, Miss Krssi Love. We will miss you. See you next week.
Later, guys.
Laters. All right, let's continue and finish off with some WWE news here. We have to get into Saudi Arabia, of course, is going to be hosting WrestleMania 43 next year, but it seems like there's going to be even more shows in Saudi Arabia starting next year. WWE continues to expand their relationship with the country with a number of premium live events in the country next year. The Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that in addition to the WWE Royal Rumble, WWE plans on having 2 other pay-per-views, PLEs, in Saudi Arabia in 2026. Dave Meltzer noted that WWE has been paid $55 million per PLE held in Saudi Arabia since they started their deal with the country in 2018, with Saudi Arabia paying considerably more than that amount for the Royal Rumble.
WWE held only one PLE in Saudi Arabia in 2025, Night of Champions, headlined by John Cena versus CM Punk and Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton in the King of the Ring tournament. Crown Jewel was held in Perth instead of Saudi Arabia this year. It remains to be seen if the additional two 2026 PLEs in Saudi Arabia will be Crown Jewel and Night of Champions or something else. Then moving over to business end of things for WWE, going from Saudi and PLEs to the business end of WWE. We have to ask the question, are we starting to see the signs that the WWE boom period is over? First, we got to talk about last week's SmackDown rating. They were hit hard by the fact that SmackDown aired on Halloween last week and the World Series massive viewership number. They dropped to new lows in ratings and viewership on USA Network. They hit a 0.20 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. And for the first time in the show's history, SmackDown rated under 1 million viewers in their regular time slot. Those numbers are down 31% and 18.9% respectively from 0.29 demo rating last week and a 1.1 rating in the overall viewership. SmackDown rating is the lowest for an original episode and the lowest overall since the New Year's Eve episode of 2021. The total audience is the lowest since the November 24th, 2023 edition that went against the World Series Game 6 that year. That was the most watched game World Series since 2017 was last week's SmackDown up against. As a reminder, Nielsen has changed its rating system as of early September, which makes ratings difficult to compare to per change weeks. That said, SmackDown is averaging a 0.40 rating and a 1.4 million viewers in 2025 compared to 0.60 and 2.1 million for the same time period in 2024. While this 1 week rating is nothing to stress over for WWE, it may just be another indication of a business turnaround ongoing for the company. As every viewer of a WWE premium live event knows, it's pretty standard practice that at some point on the show, the commentators or maybe even the performer brought out to the ring will boast about how the event has set a new record, either for attendance or ticket gate revenue. That has become more and more less and less common as of late. If the PLEs ever follow a WWE ticket sales trend that's becoming evident in house shows. Per the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE ticket sales for several shows seem to be cooling off. Meltzer notes that the Christmas week advances in particular look very weak, as that is traditionally the biggest week for house shows. He adds that several WWE shows have ticket sales numbers that look a lot like AEW shows from a year ago, with the 4 remaining John Cena shows along with Raw in Orlando being the main runs that stand out. Even John Cena's final Raw in Boston still has 1,016 tickets left to be sold. Among some other numbers, the November 17th Raw in Madison Square Garden still has 2,000 tickets left. The December 13th Saturday night's main event for Cena's final match still has just under 1,000 tickets left to be sold and 15,000 sold. The December 19th SmackDown in Grand Rapids has over 1,500 tickets left to be sold. Nonetheless, the Wrestling Observer newsletter notes WWE set 35 different new markets gate records, largely based on higher ticket prices in every market. Still, if house show numbers continue this way, these numbers show that the boom itself is over. So expect some big creative moves. Do you think WWE's boom period is over, Josh?
It's treading that way. I mean, it was kind of, I don't want to say expected. I thought it will last a lot longer. But it does feel like it's getting to that point, especially when you've seen the numbers that they're being doing, even with their weekly shows, attendance. It does come off that way. I don't want to say for sure just because they're still making a lot of money. They're still making on that aspect, but like you said, they're raising ticket prices, and that's kind of the problem of why they're not drawing big crowds, because those tickets are more expensive than usual. You know, It's like even like when you mentioned like the NXT show that they're doing in Madison, they're doing it at the theater. When they first did it for Roadblock, those tickets went fast, and now it's like not even they're like just there. They're in cruise control. So that's kind of crazy that it's got to that point. So I do feel like it's treading that way. I don't want to say for sure, but this boom period, I mean, it was bound to happen when you're giving out the kind of shows that you've been giving with these expensive ticket prices. How do you expect people to show up?
Yeah, they're pricing out their audience, their key market, their main market, the market that basically they've been able to grow from. They are pricing them out, and we're seeing kind of the consequences due to that. So we're either going to see them do a big creative move, and then maybe in like a year or so from now, maybe the ticket prices will balance out a bit and go back down. But yeah, this is not surprising whatsoever that the ticket sales are going down, or that SmackDown did so horribly last week for that show, because the World Series set a 20-year record for viewership.
Yeah, that World Series killed them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was Halloween because I was also out for Halloween, but damn, that Game 6, and I mean, ended up going to a Game 7 too, but damn, like, whew, like. There was different markets. It was Canada, Japan, all that shit. I was like, oof, damn.
I think last night's show will bounce back, and it won't be because it was a great show. It was just a regular.
Because you got no more people coming back to watch it. You're having the normal people come back to watch it because there was a lot of wrestling fans when I was on X like throughout the whole month because their team was in the playoffs. People were like, "Oh, I'm tuning in to watch baseball. I'm not tuning into wrestling. Why should I watch wrestling?" They're openly saying that, and they're like, once everything is done, then I'll go back to watching wrestling. So they did have those big crowds that people were watching, like the playoffs, and like you said, the numbers show it. The World Series alone set a record. They set I think even Game 7 was like the most watched World Series in like 30 something years. So, I mean, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's trending. Like you said, that's the right term to use. It's trending towards it's being over. And I don't think that WrestleMania 2026 is a barometer of that, because 2026 it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania will always sell. The real barometer good doer is going to be these shows after WrestleMania 2026, after WrestleMania 42.
Yeah.
What they do for Backlash 2026, what they do for Monday Night Raw following Backlash 2026. Those are going to be better barometers than WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that WrestleMania, like the only concern you would have for WrestleMania, if they did a less than 100K at most. If they did less than 100,000 fans, I would say that would probably be like a concern if it's WrestleMania. But WrestleMania, I think, is going to be fine because WrestleMania itself sells, and if the city itself is making the money that it's going to make, it's not going to take a hit in regards to WrestleMania.
Yeah, so we shall see what happens. And yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, it is getting to the point you could fly to Tokyo for a Tokyo Dome show for cheaper than buying a ticket for WrestleMania.
That's sad. That's sad.
Very sad. Very sad. WWE NXT this week, they did 528,000 viewers. The show featured Fatal Influence beating Izzy Dame, Lola Vice and Tatum Paxley in the opener. Ricky Saints and Trick Williams had a sit-down interview that led to a showdown backstage, with Trick getting the better of Ricky after using a metal object ahead of their last man standing matchup on next week's show. Kalani Jordan had an in-ring promo explaining her heel turn on Jordan Grace last week and called the fans out for being hypocrites, cheering the likes of Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio who cheat in their title matches, but booing her. This led to Kalani picking up a win over Tyra May Steeles later in the program. Post-match, Santino Marella announced that Kalani will defend the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Grace and Lei Ying Lee at Gold Rush in 2 weeks' time. El Grande Americano picked up a win over Josh Briggs in singles action, while Javon Evans defeated Saquon Sugars in a very good main event. Ethan Page and Chelsea Green had an in-ring celebration after winning the AAA Mega Mixed Tag Team Championship, The duo were interrupted by TNA Wrestling's Joe Hendry, who issued a challenge for their titles for Gold Rush, with his tag team partner being Thea Hendry or Thea Hale, who was in the cake Ethan and Chelsea had in the ring for their celebration. This led to Thea and Joe smashing cream pies into Chelsea, Ethan, and Alba Fire's faces, which led to an epic digital exclusive where Green said that that was the first time in her life she had ever been creamed. Chelsea Green, the gift that keeps on giving. So I want everybody who is in a relationship, just send your girl this picture and say tonight, ?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
Our producer just wrote bet.
Oh my God. He said, oh my God.
He probably took a picture when I put up the picture on the screen. He probably took a picture and just messes his wife tonight ?
Yo, I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch if I do that. So I'm not gonna even try. Yo, that was great. But you know what made that promo even funnier? Where when she said that, she freaking says, wait. She says, wait. Like she had to think about it.
Chelsea
And then
is so good.
And then Ethan Page was like, I haven't either. Not me either. Like he thought of it too. He's like, me either. No. Like I haven't either.
Yo, they're so good together. They're such a good pairing. It's so good. It's so good. That segment shouldn't have been as entertaining as it was, but it was very entertaining. Had no business being in the main event of the show, but it was definitely entertaining. I'll give him that. So I'm looking forward to that matchup that was announced for the Gold Rush show. That's going to have TNA, NXT, and AAA titles on the line. Josh, what did you think about Kalani Jordan's promo on this show?
Oh man. Like I said earlier, her promo, I think a lot of people are looking at the context of what she said and not how it was delivered. So I think that's why a lot of people were like in favor of it, because they're she said this and she said that, and I understand that. But when you come off like so robotic and like just very like you said, like very like kind of like a customer service person on the phone, for her, it was for me, it was a rough watch. You could have a great script, you could have all that stuff, but when you're just not good talking, it's going to show. And I feel like this is kind of an example of that, where the context of what she was saying was good. It was just the delivery for me. It was just like, it was cringe.
It was not good. It was not good. The explanation was fine. But like the people that were like raving about this were I felt dumbfounded by that. I was like, what did y'all watch? Y'all ain't watched the same thing I watched.
Shit. I was
what the fuck we talking about?
Yeah. And again, like it's like, and I think people are just giving a pass, but because Kalani hasn't been in a situation like this where it was like, oh, she's leaning to being heel. There's not a single ounce of her being heel, like of her character, like of who she is. So that's what made it even look even weird too, where it was just like, I get what we're trying to do. It's coming off a little weird for me.
I wishing all the luck. I want Kalani Jordan to be successful. She just wasn't successful at this promo. it just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. She was like, she had all the energy of a call center employee. She had all the energy of an accountant. Like it's just it's like so bad. So bad. Couple of news notes to get into from NXT. Former NXT Tag Team Champions, the Creed brothers, have been off of WWE TV for quite some time. The American-made duo have not appeared on WWE television since July 21st edition of Raw. That appears likely to change, according to the Wrestling Observer Live. Brian Alvarez said on the show that sources told him that to expect the Creed brothers back soon. Alvarez did not say how soon, and it would be for in what what it would be for or in what capacity. Julius and Brutus Creed are part of American Made alongside Ivy Nile and Chad Gable. Gable is out of action after undergoing surgery in July. Nile has been working dark matches in WWE main event tapings. Her last match was on the October 25th episode of WWE Main Event, where she lost to Lyra Valkyria. What is with WWE just saying, oh, the person you are supposed to be a tag team partner with or in a stable with is injured? You also have to stay on the sidelines for that amount of time. They're doing the same shit with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky right now. Rhea Ripley has a broken nose. Io, you got to take the next month off. Sorry.
And that's wild to me. Especially Io is not in the tag team. Like, she's a singles competitor. Use her. That was weird to me.
The Creed brothers are in a stable, but you could still use them in the tag team division.
You could, and they're actually, when you use them, they're pretty athletic. That they could put on at least a good match. You could use them on TV, and then you could still mention like, oh, Chad's gonna be back soon, or whatever the case may be. You could still kind of involve his character without having to put him on the sideline. Because reminder, the Creed brothers. This was a point where the Creed brothers, when people were like behind them and people were like, oh yeah, they're going to do good things. They're going to do great things. And it's kind of been the opposite of that, where it's like, they haven't been tag team champions. They haven't really done anything that significant. When we thought we were getting something significant, when they formed Chad Gable, they were still losing. And then now you're just not using them.
Yep. They went from just showing up to lose to not showing up. Great job, Triple H. During the latest Fightful Select Answers Q&A, Sean Ross Sapp answered a question on potential WWE NXT call-ups. Sapp noted that WWE NXT superstar Jordynne Grace is a likely candidate, as she's already said to be making main roster money. Grace reportedly signed a multi-year contract earlier this year. She made her debut at the Royal Rumble, competing in the Women's Royal Rumble matchup, and later joined the NXT roster at Vengeance Day in February. Additionally, Sapp also predicted that reigning NXT Women's Champion JC Jane should be on her way to the main roster and at the top of the list, noting that her title run highlights why she should be called up. Jane recently had a lengthy reign as NXT Women's Champion, holding the title for 150 days before losing it to Tatum Paxley at Halloween Havoc. During that time, Jane also held the TNA Knockouts World title, becoming a double champion. She signed with WWE in 2021, joining the NXT roster later that year. Lastly, Sapp speculated that he could see an NXT wrestler such as Wendy Chu getting called up for a sink or swim type of run on the main roster as well. After bringing back the WWE draft in 2023-2024, no draft has been held this year. Instead, WWE used a transfer window to shift superstars across the rosters. It's unknown if WWE is planning another transfer window for NXT call-ups soon or not. And finally, a final note from NXT, WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker is prominently involved in the Lucha Libre AAA worldwide creative aspect. Recently, during a Q&A session on PW Insider, a fan asked Mike Johnson about the reason behind the Phenom's involvement with AAA. Johnson replied that one of the major reasons behind The Undertaker's involvement is that WWE wants to turn AAA into something that appeals to the WWE universe, adding that The Undertaker is well aware of what works with the WWE audience. The Undertaker currently serves as a brand ambassador and a writer for the Mexican promotion, and a writer for the company was brought by the World Wrestling Entertainment earlier this year, and the acquisition was announced on WrestleMania 41 Night 1. Finally, finishing up from WWE Evolve this week, the show featured PJ Vasa making her in-ring debut on the show in a win over Hayes Jamison. Brooks Jensen picked up a win over the debuting Mike Cunningham. Riggs and Presley got another win over Adrenaline Drip in a pretty decent matchup. Jackson Drake will face Keanu Carver for the WWE Evolve Men's Championship. That was announced for next week's show. And Chantel Monroe scored a win over Wendy Chu in the main event. So that was all from WWE this week. We are shifting on over, Josh, to AEW, All Elite Wrestling. They had 2 shows from this week, starting with last Saturday's AEW Fright Night Collision. They did 217,000 viewers. The show featured Bandito defeating Masquerade Dorada in an absolutely fantastic main event to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship. Mercedes Moné picked up a win over Olympia in a good match to retain the TBS Championship. Post-match, Chris Statlander ran off Moné, who tried to attack Olympia some more. Don Callis families, Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada beat the former Acclaimed Max Caster and Anthony Bowens in a pretty fun opener. You also had Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne made their debut as a tag team in a win over Nixon Noel and Miranda Alizé, who were kissing during their match. Okay. Bang Bang Gang answered the MXM TV casting call in a trios victory over the team. And finally, the Commander and the Conglomeration beat LFI in a rock-solid trios matchup on the show. Moving on over to Wednesday, AEW Dynamite. The show did 459,000 viewers. The show featured Samoa Joe and the Ops looking for revenge on Tony Schiavone for Hangman Adam Page's Halloween surprise at Fright Night Dynamite. However, this brought out Page, Hook, and Eddie Kingston to make the save. This led to Hook challenging the Ops to put the trios titles on the line in the main event, which Joe accepted. Later, the Ops defeated Hook, Kingston, and Hangman to retain the AEW World Trios Championships after Powerhouse Hobbs delivered a thunderous World's Strongest Slam on Page off the ramp through a table and made Hook tap out. Next week, Hobbs goes one-on-one with Page in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup. Then you also had, meanwhile, Tony Khan had a huge announcement, as there will be a Casino Gauntlet matchup to determine the first ever AEW National Champion at Full Gear. This led to Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley of the Hurt Syndicate being announced as the first participants, with Ricochet and The Demand interrupting their in-ring promo to announce that Ricochet will also join the 2 men in the Casino Gauntlet as well. Blood and Guts Advantage Battle kicked off on the show. That was the theme of the episode, which kicked off with Claudio Castagnoli beating Orange Cassidy in a very good opener. Later, Darby Allin defeated Daniel Garcia in a great match after submitting Garcia, him becoming the 3rd straight member of the Death Riders to tap out to the Scorpion Deathlock to even the series at 1-1. Post-match, the Death Riders attacked Darby and the Conglomeration until Roderick Strong put a stop to Jon Moxley's post-match attack on Kyle O'Reilly. Meanwhile, you had the ladies' Blood and Guts Advantage battle began with Megan Bayne picking up a win over Mina Shirakawa, who replaced the injured Queen Aminata. Post-match, a brawl broke out with the babyfaces standing tall against the heels ahead of the women's Blood and Guts. The segment of the week, spoiler alert, FTR came out to brag about their number 1 contenders 4-way win last week. It was revealed that Stokely Hathaway had locked the champions into their locker room, which led to FTR deciding to confront and mock Bandito's grandmother and family. After insulting his grandmother and getting slapped for it, Bandito's brother Gravity tried to stop this, but FTR jumped him until Brody King punched a hole through the locker room door, and Brodito came out to make the save. Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, now known as the Babes of Wrath, they defeated Athena and Mercedes Moné in an excellent tag team matchup to advance in the AEW Women's Tag Team Title Tournament, thanks to a timely assist from Chris Statlander, who counteracted interference from Billy Starks. So a very busy week in AEW. Quickly, Josh, any thoughts or notes on Collision last Saturday? And then what did you think about Dynamite this week?
I thought Collision was really good. Some great matches. That main event was great. I think it was the second matchup, right? Second time they face each other.
First
Fun
time in the
matchup.
States.
Oh yeah, see, but great match. Like I really enjoyed it. Dynamite itself, I thought the show was good. It was just that announcement. I was just like, damn, you announcing another belt? Oh, okay. But besides that, I mean, it was a solid episode to me. That segment you talking about with these guys being locked in and then fucking Brody punching the door. That was great. So Stokely sold that very well. I thought that was really good. But besides that, like I said, the show was good. It's just the announcement of another title was kind of just like, oh boy, Tony, you kind of opening yourself up for more like people to dunk on you for. That's how I felt about it. It was just like, okay. Can't really be mad at those people saying that. Yeah, it's like
so unnecessary. Like, yeah, that's the other part of it. Like, if you are a fan of AEW, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can really say. Like, I had to argue. I even argued with people in the chat on in the Wees this week that were like, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I was like, no, you have to ask yourself, what does it add? Does it add anything to AEW? If it doesn't, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's an unnecessary title. It's an unnecessary addition that just is making yourself more open to criticism at a time where AEW should have their foot on the fucking gas. WWE has opened the door for them to gain some traction. And it seems like Tony Khan is focused on creating new boats instead of creating a product that fans disenchanted with WWE will come over and watch. I don't know. It don't make any sense.
Yeah, and I mean that's how I feel. Yeah, I mean the belt thing is like I can't really defend it because it's like it comes off as a very unnecessary move more than like complete negative. You know what I mean? Like if something's like really bad is bad, but this one just feels like very unnecessary. It's like why are you doing this? Like why are you adding another belt? We don't need another belt. Like you guys have been doing fine. You don't need to add something again. The belt thing, I don't think you need an extra belt to push somebody else. Like you have enough belts, and like I said, you could just push that person to whatever belt you want them to go after. You don't need to create a new title just for it's like they're doing like the whole Hurt Syndicate Ricochet thing, whereas like these guys could go after any title. Like Bobby Lashley could go after the World Championship. He's that good. Ricochet, even with could go after that. He go after the TNT title. He's that good. You don't need to create another title to have somebody get pushed just so they can have a new title. I don't understand it.
It just seems like he's pushing the panic button, and his panic button is not a McMahon on the show like it was for Vince. His panic button is I need another title. I need to create a new title. What? That doesn't make any sense. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Bro,
You have so many other things you need to address. We need a hot new main event angle. You dragged out so many different stories that you didn't need to do. You need to put more focus on Hangman Adam Page. It was great coming out of All In that the focus seemed to be on him. He was the most important character, but you kind of strayed away from that and put more focus on the Death Riders. That is fucking 4 months past its expiration date. What the fuck are we doing?
No, it's true.
Why is John Moxley lose the AEW World Title? But I'm pretty certain over the last 4 months he's gotten more TV time than Hangman.
It's possible. I think he probably did.
Doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna get the bait. I'm not gonna comment on any bait in the comments. But let's talk about this AEW National Championship. Let's talk more details about that as AEW is adding yet another title to the lineup in the AEW National Championship with the first champion to be crowned at Full Gear.
Tony Khan announced in a video before the show went on air, they are adding a new championship in the national title. He said that the title will be defended in other promotions, including ROH and NJPW and more. The championship will be decided in the Casino Gauntlet. Khan spoke during the video that the National Heavyweight Championship's history in NWA, the title was a mainstay of Georgia Championship Wrestling, and it was deactivated in 1986. It was unified with the NWA United States Championship. The new title will give AEW 4 men's singles titles. It joins the AEW World Championship, AEW Unified Championship, itself combined the international and continental titles, and the AEW TNT Championship. Reigning NWA National Heavyweight Champion Mike Mondo has reacted to All Elite Wrestling introducing a singles champion, a new singles championship. Reacting to the announcement on X, current NWA National Heavyweight Champion Mike Mondo bragged about holding the most prestigious championship in the world of professional wrestling. He said, "Let me be clear. There is only one NWA, and there is only one prestigious national championship that holds legit lineage and has 4 decades. So to Tony Khan or anyone else confused, here's the legit title and what the company it belongs to and the legit national champion. My name is Mike Mondo." Yes, that is Mike Mondo of Spirit Squad fame. This is not the only dispute between AEW and NWA right now. NWA and AEW are remaining in a dispute over competing trademarks to get the term shockwave, according to a new report. As you may recall, AEW filed a trademark back in September 2024. AEW sought to create a new show under that name that was not yet come to life. The NWA filed an opposition in June over the trademark. The NWA's argument at the time was that they have a common law rights to the term dating back to season 1 of NWA Shockwave, airing in December of 2020. WrestleNomics reports that the dispute is ongoing and provides some more details. The report says that the NWA filed this application for a trademark on September 23rd, 2024. That was 17 days after AEW's trademark. The NWA's opposition claims that it has been using NWA Shockwave continuously since 2020. It also points out that NWA's predecessors have used NWA Shockwave for many years before then. The NWA's lawyers wrote in their opposition that they sent AEW a legal letter demanding they abandon the AEW Shockwave trademark. NWA obtained that their registration for NWA Shockwave in June, with AEW's filing still active. AEW filed its response to the NWA's opposition on July 15th. The response denied that NWA's claim and argued their own application should continue. AEW argues that NWA has not used Shockwave continuously and that the trademarks are not confusingly similar. The argument is that NWA would not be damaged by AEW's trademark. As of now, the dispute has not been resolved. Brandon Thurston reports that this could be a long, drawn-out process. So, AEW versus NWA. This feels like when a boxer has a big boxing match left, but the big boxing match is in a year, so they take like a warm-up fight. That's what AEW is doing with NWA. They're getting ready for a real fight with WWE by fucking picking on these motherfuckers.
Oh my god. Yo, the reaction to it has been hilarious. The first guy talking about the belt. I mean, I was like, nobody watches NWA, so I don't know what you guys are trying to do. Like, I get it. You're trying to defend your brand. You're trying to defend, Billy Corgan. I get it. I get it. The other dude didn't make it much better, Brian Idol. I think he was a lot worse in defending NWA. I think he made it worse. To the point that he even got owned by another independent guy. It's a whole mess. I mean, obviously the legal stuff. I didn't know about it until this week about the names and Shockwave and all this stuff. I mean, nobody watches NWA. That doesn't necessarily mean they don't own it, don't own the name Shockwave. But I also do believe that it's not going to really hurt anybody. Like what's what? You know what I mean? It's not going to hurt NWA because NWA is already hurt. So what's the point? Like, you know what I mean?
One would hope they're just creating this to combine with the TNT title, and then we can get rid of this one. We can get rid of the TNT title and just combine it with this. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I agree with Carnage in the chat. This is good publicity for NWA. This is the most we talked about NWA in quite some time.
Yep.
And Danny, that is factually incorrect. He says the same amount of people that watch AEW Collision watch NWA. Laugh my ass off. I know you were making a joke, but like I said before, Collision was watched by 217,000 people last week. I don't think 217 people have watched NWA. So it was a joke, but it fell flat. Anyway, moving on. AEW distracting from the women's tag team championship tournament, but we are not. We're going to talk about the women's tag team title tournament. It's set to conclude at Full Gear, according to the latest report. AEW announced the brackets for the tournament late last month. The tournament kicked off on last week's Dynamite, and the date for the finals has not yet been announced. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the finals are likely to take place at the pay-per-view, Full Gear. AEW traditionally reveals when the finals for their tournaments will take place beforehand. However, with 2 weeks to go before Full Gear, there's been no announcement for the tournament at the pay-per-view. The report notes that AEW could not announce it yet because Mercedes Moné has a match on the pay-per-view. Moné challenges Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's World Championship at Full Gear. Had the finals been announced beforehand, it would be a strong indication that she and Athena were set to lose. They, in fact, did lose in the first round on Dynamite this week. With Moné and Athena out of the tournament, AEW is expected to announce the finals soon. Dave Meltzer notes that he expects Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa to make it to the finals. They would either face the team of Babes of Wrath or the Sisters of Sin. Those two teams are set to face in the semifinals. Sky Blue and Julia Hart beat Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata in the first round 2 weeks ago. And there are 4 shows left before Full Gear, 4 matches in the tournament left as well. AEW Full Gear takes place on November 22nd in Newark, New Jersey, and it airs live on pay-per-view as well as HBO Max. What do you think is going to win between Babes of Wrath and Sisters of Sin to make it to the finals? Because that's interesting now. I did not expect that result on Dynamite this week. I thought it was a no-brainer that Moné and Athena were going to win. But I'll be honest, that unpredictable result made the match so much better. That was the match of the night on Dynamite this week. No question.
Yeah. The ladies, the tag team matches for the ladies were great for Raw and Dynamite, and they were really good. And I do agree. I think the result was make the match better because I didn't expect it, and I thought it was actually a good result. And they played it very well with Statlander getting involved. So yeah, I mean I like the match, and I like the end result to it.
I do too. I just thought they would at least make Athena and Mercedes go to the finals because they were one of the best teams in ring-wise in this tournament, and they proved that in that first round matchup as well. But someone who won't be taking part got eliminated from the women's tag team tournament and won't be taking part in Blood and Guts is Queen Aminata. She reportedly is out of Blood and Guts on next week's show. It was announced by Tony Khan ahead of this week's Dynamite that she had been pulled from her matchup against Megan Bayne in the Advantage battle. Now Dave Meltzer has confirmed on Wrestling Observer Radio that she is officially out of Blood and Guts. The move is not surprising given the announcement this week that Mina Shirakawa would replace her in the matchup on Dynamite and next week's show. In addition, Deadlock Pro announced on Thursday that Aminata will not defend her title at this week's Showdown in Cary event. Aminata was set to defend the DPW Women's World Championship against Dani Luna. Dani Luna instead faced Jada Stone. Aminata was still at the event for a meet and greet. There's still no word on the details around Aminata's injury, though, as including how long she may be out. She last competed in the tag team tournament on the Fright Night Dynamite special. With Aminata's now out for next week's special, and TBS has confirmed the AEW Blood and Guts special will be getting extra time. Fightful Select reports that next week's 2-hour episode is set to go beyond the usual 2-hour format. That has now been confirmed with TBS announcing the schedule. According to the schedule, AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts will run from 8 p.m. Eastern Time to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Blood and Guts airs next Wednesday. The lineup features the men's Blood and Guts matchup with Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, and the Conglomeration versus the Death Riders. The women's Blood and Guts 6-on-6. Jamie Hayter, Mina Shirakawa, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Timeless Tony Storm, and Chris Statlander versus Triangle of Madness, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and Mercedes Moné. And Falls Count Anywhere, Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs. So, Josh, we're going to do rapid fire prediction. Page versus Hobbs. Who you got for Blood and Guts on Wednesday?
Page,
obviously. Men's Blood and Guts, Darby and the Conglomeration versus the Death Riders. Who you got?
the Conglomeration with Darby.
I'm going Darby and the Conglomeration, and I'm going Death Riders turn on Moxley on Wednesday. Women's Blood and Guts, Team Mercedes or Team Statlander? Who you got?
Team Mercedes.
I'm going Team Mercedes as well. I think that would be big for like Triangle of Madness to be on the winning side of the tournament, and it would give them more momentum to feel like a threat to win, to go to the finals of the tournament, the tag title tournament as well. So we're on the same page there, my good friend. Now, a new report has some details on Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. MJF's filming for his latest movie is done, and how soon he may be available to return to AEW is now known. As reported in September, the former AEW World Champion has a role in Violent Night 2. The holiday action sequel has been filming in Winnipeg, and Fightful Select reports that the movie will be wrapping pretty soon. You got MJF was initially flying back and forth between AEW tapings for a while, filming the movie during the build-up to All Out. The report makes it clear that there's no word on when MJF is set to return to AEW TV yet. Sources in the company say that he has caught the acting bug, though, and spoken about how much he's enjoying it. MJF has appeared in a couple of films, including The Iron Claw and Happy Gilmore 2. He also appeared in the yet-to-be-released Jewish summer camp comedy, The Floaters. The AEW star was last feuding with Mark Briscoe on AEW TV, and he lost a tables and tax match to Briscoe at All Out in September. Wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer has talked about an upcoming matchup for Full Gear where there could be a huge reunion taking place. On Collision this past Saturday, there was an announcement that Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express will face Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks in a first ever $1 million trios matchup. According to the Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer pointed out that the trios matchup and that could be laying the groundwork for a reunion within AEW's elite ranks. The highly anticipated bout, which carries the $1 million prize, has drawn fan attention, not just its stakes, but also for its possible repercussions. Meltzer believed that the Young Bucks' apparent reluctance towards Don Callis' match announcement could be a deliberate storytelling move. While co-host Brian Alvarez suggested that the Bucks' hesitation could signal their lack of confidence, Meltzer noted that while the Bucks haven't openly shown enthusiasm about facing Omega, the tension may be setting the stage for a dramatic reunion. He says that they weren't happy about it, which is interesting. He says, it's also felt like they didn't want to wrestle Kenny Omega. They may be building up to where they can get back with Kenny. Dave Meltzer also believed that despite not having a strong backstory heading into Full Gear, the match could still feature show-stealing moments from the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, even if they don't reunite immediately. So, what you going to put it? 0 to 100, Josh. What is your percentage you're putting on the Elite reuniting at Full Gear?
0.
I think I'm gonna put 40%.
40?
I'm not at 50%, but I think I have been sowing the seeds that we are getting another Elite reunion.
Probably 20%. realistically, probably 20%. I'll put at 20%. Because they have been kind of teasing it. They have been kind of throwing little small hints, not too much, even especially with the Bucks. The Bucks being conflicted, but then they're still being dicks. So it's like they're building it a little bit. I don't think it's happening at full gear.
Yeah, this is the elite reunions are kind of getting much. You had one in 2021. You had another in 2023. This is now going to be the third within AEW. Third reunion for the elite. It's kind of a little much. Just a little. Just a smidge much. Just saying. Then you got Dion says, damn, this is just like last year when Swerve and Hangman was compared to Punk and McIntyre because the matches were a week apart. Same will happen. Blood and Guts and War Games, not good for WWE. I said that too. I think I said that. I don't know who I said that to this week. I think I said it to Jimmy. Yeah, I said it to Jimmy, where I was like, it feels like Tony strategically made Blood and Guts later this year to be mere weeks or days before Survivor Series.
Yeah, it's possible, especially when Blood and Guts. We kind of know what we're getting within the match. We're going to get a lot of blood. We're going to get a lot of violence. And WWE's version, we're not going to get that. And I think that's probably going to, I don't want to say hurt the match, but it's definitely going to leave a certain impression when it comes to that, when it happens.
Yeah, it's not going to have any blood or any type of obscure violence. So it's going to be rather tame in comparison to Blood and Guts, where we're going to get in that match there. So Godspeed, WWE, and more importantly, Godspeed the performers who have to keep up with AEW. New report has a bit of an update on Adam Cole, baby. Amid his hiatus from the ring due to health concerns, of course, Cole was removed from the AEW All In Texas event due to health issues and stepping away. Cole has not been seen on TV since, and it has been confirmed he is dealing with concussion issues. Sean Ross Sapp was asked about his condition on the Fightful Select Answers Q&A, and it was noted that at last word, he was still dealing with those same issues. The report goes on to say that there aren't plans for Cole to return, and he has not been discussed for any creative plans. Tony Khan wants to keep Cole part of AEW as long as he can. Cole has not been on the road, as that would potentially slow down his recovery process. No word on when Cole may return to the ring or TV. We are all hoping for the best for Adam Cole, baby. Someone who could be done with AEW completely is Kamille. Is AEW doing anything more with Kamille? Doesn't seem like they are. She has starred in recently played June Byers in the movie Queen of the Ring, and she hasn't been seen on AEW television since 1 year ago, November of 2024. That is ridiculous. Fans will speculate about, what her status with AEW is. It doesn't sound like she's exercising any of the other options that she has. She's a former bodybuilder, actress, previous football and softball player as well. But at least for now, she's not taking those options. She just doesn't have anything to work with in AEW right now, following her big split with Mercedes Moné last year, which apparently wasn't drawing money. In a new edition of Fightful Select Answers Q&A, Sean Ross Sapp noted that Kamille remains under contract with AEW. He also noted that she has not been backstage or involved in any creative meetings lately, and that while Mercedes was willing to work with her to further their split storyline, AEW opted not to do that, as they apparently felt the pairing wasn't working. He also points out that they did take time off to shoot Kamille did take time off to shoot American Gladiators earlier this year. It's crazy. It's been a year now. That is insane. It's been a year for her and Britt. They've been off TV for a fucking year. I just realized that it's November 2025. So these people have been gone for a year. Jesus. There's gotta be something better to do. There's got to be something better to do. There's icing people and keeping them on the bench for a year. That's just gross. Come on. Here we are. AEW, well, a couple of comments here in the chat. He says, MCAT says, you can create another promotion with all the wrestlers TK has iced. Just put them on ROH. It's like the simplest shit. Put these people that you don't want to use, put them all on Ring of Honor. Put them all on Ring of Honor. Come on. What are we doing? Yeah, that seems to be it. Short King the GOAT. He says, I've heard the Kamille problem was her tweets in support of Trump and MAGA that got her in hot water. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but it does seem like it has some legs.
Yeah, and it wasn't so much of that. It was the other thing that I don't want to talk about. Ever since that, it kind of just felt like, I think it was that. I pinpoint more so the other thing than that.
I can see that as well. AEW business news. Let's talk about all the business news. Of course, we got an update on the WBD of it all. As previously reported, AEW broadcast partner Warner Brothers Discovery is up for sale with multiple media companies vying for its acquisition. WBD has already rejected multiple bids from Top Suitor, Paramount, Skydance, and Netflix, and NBC Universal are also exploring bids for Warner Brothers. Fightful Select Answers Q&A addressed the potential WBD sale and what this means for the future of AEW. In the Q&A, Sean Ross Sapp speculated that Paramount is the most likely company to acquire WBD. However, Sapp noted that AEW has a good contract with Warner Brothers and relative to the cost of his deal, performs solid numbers and also remains a strong streaming property. AEW announced a new multi-year streaming rights deal with WBD about a year ago. Under the contract, WBD networks, TBS and TNT would remain the respective homes of AEW programs, Dynamite and Collision, which also started receiving simulcasts on WBD streaming service HBO Max earlier this year. Also, AEW pay-per-view events are available on HBO Max, starting with All Out in Toronto. AEW's latest multimedia deal with WBD is said to be valued of upwards $150 million per year, with all elements taken into account. Additionally, Sapp noted that while Netflix vying for WBD is interesting, he does not expect the streamer to land WBD. In the hypothetical scenario that Netflix acquires WBD, Sapp predicts that AEW would retain his current contract. Netflix is notably the streaming home for Monday Night Raw in the US and the streaming home of all WWE's content in international markets. According to Sapp, he does not think that WWE would leave a trail of the promotion attempting to get Netflix to drop AEW in light of the recent allegations made by MLW in their lawsuit against WWE. MLW and WWE reached a settlement in MLW's lawsuit against them for antitrust back in December of 2023. CNBC also reported this week that WBD plans to publicly announce its plans towards the middle or end of December, be it for a sale or a new company split, which was talked about before the company went openly up for sale. Ticket sales for upcoming AEW events vary across venues, according to recent reports from Dave Meltzer. The December 17th Dynamite in Manchester, UK, currently lists 8,391 tickets sold, which is really good for AEW, a first for the city. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that that is the strongest advance by far coming up. November 15th Collision in Erie, Pennsylvania, sold to date 909 tickets. Attendance for this event remains lower compared to other upcoming shows on AEW's calendar. Meltzer even called it a bad one. The World's End pay-per-view schedule only has 4,129 tickets sold after last week. The show is part of AEW's year-end schedule. Additionally, ticket figures include Houston, Texas on November 8th, which is tonight, has 1,298 tickets, so 1,300 sold. Meltzer expects the small building to be sold out. Blood and Guts has 3,500 tickets sold. November 19th, Dynamite in Boston has 2,500 tickets sold. And November 26th, Dynamite in Collision taping has 919 tickets sold out of 1,300. He says it's a small place and set up for that should sell out. For December, they're doing pretty well as well. So it seems it varies with everything, but it does seem like their New Year's tickets are going to be going bad because they're going to Omaha, Nebraska for New Year's Smash. Who the fuck is going to Omaha, Nebraska for anything on New Year's?
Yeah, that's a weird spot. I was like, Nebraska? What the fuck?
Nebraska?
Like,
what the fuck is that?
It's good for somebody that I know. I'm actually friends with him. He actually lives in Nebraska. And he's actually going to that show. So it's good for like certain people that want to go, but Nebraska? That's so weird. It's a weird spot for wrestling in general.
Yeah. Weird call. Weird call by AEW, and we'll see how they go. They only have like 100 tickets sold for that event, which is scary. Moving on over to Japan, why don't we, Josh? As you had New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, no, first we got to finish up with the Converse. My bad. Wait, ROH TV. Let's talk ROH TV on Honor Club. The show features Shane Taylor Promotions picking up a win over Beef and the Workhorsemen to retain the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Championships, thanks to outside interference from LFI. Post-match, STB jumped their opponents until Skyflight made the save. Skyflight went on to get a win over Danny Magic and the Kingdom in trios action. Alex Windsor and Yuka Sakazaki defeated Robin Renegade and Taya Valkyrie. Don Callis families, Hechicero and Lance Archer scored a squash win. Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta of the Death Riders beat Aaron Solo and Angelica Riss. The Squirrel picked up a win over Willie Mack and Alex Zane. Deonna Purrazzo advanced in the ROH Women's Pure Championship Tournament with a win over Trisha Dora, while Lee Moriarty and Commander ROH Pure Championship Proving Ground matchup went to a 10-minute time limit draw, which means that Commander will get a future shot at the title coming up. So we'll see when that happens there. Probably Final Battle.
I was going to say that. Final Battle.
Then we move over to Japan now. Going over to NJPW Tanahashi Final Homecoming, which was last Sunday. The show featured Yota Tsuji defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi in a splendid encounter to retain the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Post-match, Tanahashi endorsed Tsuji as the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling before Yuto Ice came out to challenge Tanahashi for a singles match that was earlier today. Meanwhile, Konosuke Takeshita beat Hiroki Goto in an absolutely superb main event to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Post-match, Takeshita showed respect to Goto and called out his next challenger for the Tokyo Dome, which brought out Yota Tsuji. Tsuji issued the challenge to face Takeshita for the world title, but the Alpha wanted to up the ante and dared Tsuji to put up the Global Heavyweight Championship. So this means it will be Takeshita versus Tsuji, title for title, at the Tokyo Dome, January 4th, 2026, Wrestle Kingdom 20. And then finally, you had the House of Tortures show in Doki. They won the Super Junior Tag League. End of story. I'm not talking about that. But yes, Josh, what did you think about Takeshita Tsuji being made for the main event of Wrestle Kingdom?
I love it because this is something that, like I said before, this is something that we talked about when it comes to New Japan. New Japan needs to push their young stars. They need to push their guys that, that are still there. Yota Tsuji, obviously he's one of their young stars, and he's already had multiple windows where it's like, man, this shit ain't never gonna happen. Now you open up another window where people are, obviously they're behind it, but this is the time to do it. You gotta pull the trigger this time. Like, there's no waiting. You have to have somebody that could be established, your established face of the company. You had him beat Tanahashi, and you had Tanahashi give his endorsement too. So I mean, this is the time to do it. Like, but I'm excited about the match. I think the match is gonna be fucking phenomenal because that fucking Goto and Takeshita match, that was insane. So
was Tsuji and Tanahashi. For all Tanahashi for all half a knee this man has in his two legs, he only has half a knee. He still is giving us great matches on this retirement tour. Like, there's a reason why there's a lot of New Japan fans that are just like laughing at WWE fans for the John Cena retirement tour, because they have to compare it to the Tanahashi retirement tour, and Tanahashi has lapped John Cena.
He's running laps around it. He's running laps around it, and it's like, man, because at least with Tanahashi, you kind of expect of what you're getting. You know what you're getting when it comes to Tanahashi, but the fact that he's putting out effort, he's putting out, like, he's giving it his all, and that's all I really wanted for Tanahashi. And the fact that he's able to been doing that, and even the people he's putting over, I mean, it's not a big deal, because it's like, hey, like, he's having good performances, and that's why it means something.
Yeah, man. Tanahashi's going out on his sword before he retires here. But we got to talk about that retirement matchup coming up on January 4th, because there was news that came out this week. The wrestling world is waiting with bated breath to find out the final opponent in the illustrious career of the legendary ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. January 4th, Tokyo Dome. He has his retirement match, but we don't know who the opponent is at this time. Dave Meltzer spoke on the likely candidates who will face Tanahashi on Wrestling Observer this week, and provided his analysis of the lack of an important opponent announcement at the NJPW press conference this week. A recent report by Fightful Select indicated that NJPW has narrowed down the field to 3 candidates for Tanahashi, with an announcement and press conference expected in the next week or so. Meltzer expressed his belief that WWE superstar Shinsuke Nakamura and AEW's Kazuchika Okada are the leading candidates to face Tanahashi at the Tokyo Dome on January 2026. Meltzer speculated on why Tanahashi and NJPW didn't announce his opponent at Tuesday's press conference. Meltzer stated, the fact that they didn't announce it at least makes you think that Nakamura might be in play, because if it's Okada, there's no reason not to announce it. Fightful Select has an update with more details on the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion's last match. As of November 6th, the match has yet to be officially signed or announced. However, Fightful notes that NJPW has narrowed down the field to 3 potential candidates. Also, it's said that the decision of Tanahashi's final opponent will be revealed in the next week or so, with a press conference planned to announce the competitor. Although Fightful has earlier reported Shinsuke Nakamura being discussed internally as an idea, it was viewed as a pipe dream. The report also notes that it's not expected to be announced as the final opponent. The 48-year-old New Japan Pro Wrestling president recently commented on his final opponent during the To Tokyo Sport, where he said, "Please wait a little longer. I've fought many different opponents in my career. I'll make sure to announce who I want to face." So, Josh, the question is, who should be Tanahashi's final opponent? And will it be a disappointment considering how much we've waited for this announcement if it's not Shinsuke Nakamura?
I think his final opponent, I believe, is gonna be Kazuchika Okada. Especially when I saw that clip, I was like, oh shit, like, he didn't want to go back to New Japan, where, he made it clear he was like, I'm not doing this again. That's why I 100% don't agree with what Dave said. Oh, it was Okada and AEW, they would have announced it. It's like, no, Okada didn't want to do stuff for New Japan. So even that would be kind of like, I would actually like that. As far as the Nakamura stuff, I mean, I think people are just setting themselves up for disappointment when it comes to that, because I have zero indication that it's Nakamura. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That would be cool to see, but I have zero indication, just because of where Nakamura is at. Nakamura is in WWE, and even if you do bring in Nakamura, that could potentially hurt the relationships that New Japan currently has, regardless of the status of what Nakamura has meant to New Japan. It's just where he works at. That's where, to me, it's like, I don't see it happening. I do believe it's going to be Okada.
I tend to agree with you. I think it's either Okada or Omega. Those were 2 of the 3 potential candidates for them. Naito was another one that I mentioned as a candidate because since he's been gone from the company. But I agree, out of all those choices, Okada feels like the best option. That's a guy that has a career-defining rivalry with Tanahashi. Not only career-defining, company-defining rivalry with Tanahashi. It would make sense for his career to end with him. One person who won't be part of upcoming stuff for New Japan Pro Wrestling is Tomohiro Ishii, unfortunately. The Japanese wrestler is set to be out of action indefinitely due to an injury he suffered recently. NJPW revealed in a statement this week that Ishii sustained a dislocated right shoulder during his matchup with Pac on AEW Collision 2 weeks ago. The promotion stated that Ishii's return will be determined after further diagnosis. It also apologized to fans who were looking forward to seeing him at future events. The AEW event that NJPW referred to was the October 22nd taping of Collision, where Ishii faced Pac. Pac defeated Ishii in a grueling bout that went about 15 minutes. All of us at THH would like to wish Ishii a speedy recovery from his injury. And then finally, you had Wrestle Kingdom coming up. And as previously reported, the first day ticket sales were massive, reaching more than 20,000 tickets sold on the first day. During the press conference this week for the mega event, New Japan and company president Hiroshi Tanahashi shared an update where the ticket sales have surpassed 31,000 tickets sold for January 4th. Per NJPW, just announced by President Hiroshi Tanahashi, thank you to 51,548 who have already brought tickets to the Tokyo Dome. Let's sell out January 4th. The NJPW Wrestle Kingdom 19 at the Dome had an attendance of 24,107, dropping from 2024's attendance that did 27,422. The Tokyo Dome has a capacity to hold 55,000 people. And the co-promotional event Wrestle Dynasty did about 16,000 this year. Wrestle Kingdom 20 will mark the highest attendance for Wrestle Kingdom since 2020's two-night Wrestle Kingdom 14, which drew 40,000 tickets on night 1 and 30,000 tickets sold on night 2. That's the last time ticket sales for the show reached more than 30,000. For comparison, the Wrestle Kingdom 13, headlined by Kenny Omega and Hiroshi Tanahashi, drew an announced 38,162, while the year prior with Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho drew 34,995 tickets sold. Huge numbers, and it's not because New Japan is this hot commodity, is this hot product again. It's not because of that. It's because that Ace is a fucking draw, and the Ace has already drawn more than John Cena's final match. He's drawn double, meaning we were right a couple of weeks ago when we said WWE is stupid for not doing John Cena's last match in a
stadium show. And remind you, those people the query for Cena's show was at 48,000. 48,000 people waited to buy tickets. So that's a massive, you're talking about a massive fumble for WWE. Yeah, the city paid $7 million to run it, and it's like, damn. Yeah, I know, fucking arena that's less than 20,000 people.
Don't make no sense whatsoever. Oh man, such a fumble by WWE.
This shit, I think it's gonna go over for Wrestle Kingdom, and especially I think it's gonna even do more once as a final opponent is announced. I do believe that this one is, because it's not only the anniversary, you have so much behind it. Tanahashi retirement match, you have this dude debuting. There's a lot that's going on even within the show itself for Wrestle Kingdom. That's actually
even if you're right with the Okada for the first time in 2 years in Japan.
Yeah, so I think I do believe it's going to do over 40,000.
Yeah, I think they have a shot. They have a shot for that for sure. Final note ahead of next year's Wrestle Kingdom, we got to determine who's the number one contenders for the tag team titles. That means World Tag League is about to begin. It's about to kick off, I believe, in a few weeks' time. The A block and B blocks have been announced. A block will consist of 3-time winners Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi. Tai Chi will replace Tomohiro Ishii with Satoshi Kojima. Toriano and Bolton Oleg, El Desperado and Shuji Ishikawa are teaming up. Ishikawa making his debut. Yota Tsuji and Gabe Kidd as a team in the tournament. Shingo Takagi and Drilla Maloney, Evil and Don Fale, and Yujiro Takahashi and Chase Owens fill out the A block. Meanwhile, you got the B block is absolutely stacked. You got Hiroshi Tanahashi and El Phantasmo. You got David Finlay and Hiromu Takahashi. You got the Knockout Brothers, Yuto Ice and Oscar. You got Zack Sabre Jr. and Roye Uyawa of TMDK. You got United Empires, Great O'Khan and Callum Newman. You got the House of Torture, Ren Narita and Sonata. You got Monster Sauce, Lance Archer and Alex Zane. And you got Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura. I'm locked in for the B block. I'm going to go for the final. I'll go with Bishamon versus Shooter and Uemura. Who are you going with?
Ooh, same. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Winner faces the Knockout Brothers. Then you had Stardom. Stardom was last Friday. Last Monday. It was headlined by the big matchup: Saya Kamatani versus 5-star Grand Prix winner Momo Watanabe. Saya defeating Momo in a terrific main event to retain the World of Stardom Championship. Post-match, IWGP Women's Champion Shuri and Sari Aoi came out to issue next challenges for Saya. Mei Sera beat Hazuki in a super fun matchup to retain the Stardom High Speed title, while Konami defeated Starlight Kid in a banger to win the Wonder of Stardom champion, new champion being crowned at last Monday's event. New Japan Pro Wrestling confirmed another double title bout for Wrestle Kingdom, as they announced that it will be NJPW Strong Women's Champion Saya Kamatani will face off with IWGP Women's Champion Shuri in a double title bout. So we got a double title bout for the men, double title bout for the women. Saya Kamatani's the biggest star in all of Joshi wrestling in Japan. Shuri is a former GOAT of Joshi wrestling in Japan. So this should be an epic encounter. The two women were a part of the press conference this week where Saya Kamatani said that she still plans to bring the red belt into the dome, and with the IWGP and Strong titles both on the line, that will certainly show just who the icon of women's wrestling is. She also added she will take the weight of the IWGP off Shuri's shoulders, and how the tens of thousands of people in the Tokyo Dome will leave as devotees of Saya-sama. So it's official for Wrestle Kingdom. It's going to be Saya Kamatani and Shuri. That joins the lineup with Yota Tsuji versus Konosuke Takeshita, title for title. Hiroshi Tanahashi's final matchup. Aaron Wolf challenging Evil for the Never Openweight Championship. 4 matches in, and I'm ready for Wrestle Kingdom. I'm ready.
Damn, that sounds pretty good so far. Oh, shit.
Inject in the veins, please. But yeah, big matches. The graphics look great. The graphics for this year look dope. Look dope as hell. The Takeshita and Tsuji one looks dope. Shuri and Saya looks dope as fuck. Even the different one for Aaron Wolf and Evil looks pretty good too. So I'm ready. CMLL Viernes Espectacular is how we end off what we missed this week. The show featured Angel De Ora and Soberano Jr. making his return, beating Atlantis Jr. and Teton in a great main event matchup. Mascara Dorada defeated Austin Aries in a lightning matchup. Yes, that Austin Aries. Espionage, Templario, and TJP picked up a win over Los Templarios in a trios action. Very good matchup there as well. But we've made it to the end of what we missed, Josh, and we made it to Krssi Law's other favorite time of the show. Best, worst moments and matches of the week. We will start with you, Josh. What was your best and worst from this past week?
Woo! Best this week. Damn, what is the best this week? I'm trying to figure it out myself. Best this week. I'm gonna give it to that. Me personally, I'm gonna give it to that promo from Dom and Ray. I thought that was some great stuff, and I thought Dom did a great job of like still selling the whole thing with Eddie Guerrero. I enjoyed it. I personally enjoyed it. The worst this week has to be probably WWE's management handling this Rich his name? Ridge Holland's release, handle the way they handled it and the way that how that's going. I'll give them the worst.
Yeah, that's easy. I also gave it to Dirty Dom. I gave Dirty Dom best of the week. He won that Saturday night's main event, had arguably one of the best segments on Raw, and he feels like the hottest star in WWE right now, and it's not even close. Anybody else, not even close. Worst of the week, though, WWE on their handling of Ridge Holland. Moments of the week, I got two. Co-moment of the week, I gave it to Becky Lynch's promo because she's Becky Lynch, and I gave it to FTR with Grandma Bandito.
My moment of the week will be Brody breaking the door, choking Stokely. That was my favorite moment.
Fair, very fair. All right, matches of the week. I numbered it down to 10. I do have honorable mentions though. Honorable mention to Kabuki Warriors versus Bailey and Lyra, and Javon versus Saquon from NXT. Number 10, I got May Sarah versus Suzuki from Stardom Crimson Nightmare. Number 9, I got Dead Aura and some Sombrano versus Teton and Atlantis Jr. from CMLL last night. 8, Darby Allin and Daniel Garcia from Dynamite. 7, Ilya Dragunov versus Johnny Gargano from SmackDown. 6, I gave it to Konami versus Starlight Kid from Stardom. 5, I gave it to Babes of Wrath versus Mercedes and Athena. 4, I gave it to Saya Kamatani versus Momo Watanabe. Number 3, I gave it to Yota Tsuji and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Number 2 and 1 was very hard, very close. I like shuffled it back and forth throughout the week. One day it was this one day it was that one. I ended off with this. I'll go number 2, Bandito and Dorada. Number 1, Takeshita and Goto. What you
got? Number 3, I got, it's crazy. I had it on the top of my head. Dorada versus Bandito, number 3. Number 2, I got Tanahashi versus Tsuji. Number 1, I got Takeshita versus Goto.
Same number 1s this week. Go out of your way to watch it if you haven't already. And go out of your way to watch the rest of this podcast if you haven't already. If you joined us live late on, start from the beginning. Started over there. Got a couple of comments to feature here. We got Bandito versus Dorada for number 1. We got Dragunov's U.S. defenses are the only things SmackDown I've been watching for good reason. Right there. We got best of the week for FTR from MCATs. He gives worst of the week to WWE and Ridge. WWE on Ridge. Don't give it to Ridge. Ridge don't deserve to be rest of the week. He's not worse for that. But yes, we've made it to the end of another edition of the Flagship Podcast. I want to thank Josh for joining me this week. Thank Miss Krssi Love and our producer. And of course, thank you to all of you. Thank you to all your support today to celebrate 25,000. And once again, thank you so much for helping us to hit such a big milestone that not a lot of YouTube channels can hit. Not a lot of wrestling YouTube channels can hit. And we are greatly appreciative to all of you for everything that you do for us. You make it possible for us to come every day and talk our shit about pro wrestling. And we thank you for that. Josh, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they shall see you again.
You can follow me, JamePunk321, X and Instagram, and I'll be back on the podcast on November 22nd. That'll be the next time I will be back because next weekend I will be attending big event. I will be meeting Sting for the last time in his war paint. I'll be meeting Mina Shirakawa for the first time. I'll be meeting Tekla for the first time. And if I some other stuff I'll be doing at the show too. But so I'll be back the 22nd, the following weekend.
There you go. For full gear, our full gear party for flagship episode. Don't worry, guys. It won't be just me and Miss Krssi Love next week. We will be, I believe that's the week we have the return of Top Guy JJ, either that week or the 22nd. We'll figure it out. But we'll probably have a special guest to replace Josh, if anything. But follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month. Get you exclusive content. The best place to support us when we are not live here. Check out Goat Match Series. We're going to have some new content over there for the new year as well. And get ready, guys. We're just a few short weeks away before we start our end of year content. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are as well. I will be back with you on Tuesday, I believe. Yes, Tuesday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. We're Rated Raw reviewing Monday Night Raw. We got some THH cuts dropping from this week. Me and Josh talking about have the WWE fans turned on Cody Rhodes will drop tomorrow. We got me and JJ from Rated Raw Review talking about is Dominic Mysterio the hottest star in WWE? That's going to be dropping on Monday. So check all of that out and check out Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. Go over and subscribe over there for our Peacemaker Season 2 finale review that we did earlier this week. Me and Krssi Love will be back on the channel this coming week to review Power Book 4, Force, Season 3, Episode 1. So join us for that as well. For the True Jaw Josh, for Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 354. Hang out to dry. We are signing off until next time.